Transformers, the show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, and everyone on in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot fan's wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and the flow. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers, the show!
Good evening, everybody. This is your Friday night. This is Transformers the Show. Welcome to episode 284, our TFNation preview. And what better way to preview TFNation by getting two of the TFNation High Command along with us tonight. Mr. Dave Wallace, Mr. Andy Turnbull, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
Excellent. So does Billy know you're here?
Actually, did I tell him?
Right, this is all good. Hi, Billy. They'll be back to work straight after the show. Tonight, we've got all the usual news, pickups, social.
I swear, Billy has literally just messaged me.
Where are you?
Let's see what he said. Oh, heart emoji.
Oh,
Lovely.
good.
Oh,
because he
what a
thinks you're working. Our foreplay is what we're looking forward to picking up most at TFN, and our discussion will be all things TFN this year. So if you've got any questions about TFN this year, what's going on, anything you'd like to ask the guys, pop it in the chat. Make sure it's sensible, and then we'll discuss it later on in the chat. But Andy, why don't we just kick off with the bloody news?
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
let's do some news then. And the first news, Dave, I'm going to let you kind of take the lead on this because this is something involving, well, not just involving TFN, something happening at TFN.
Yeah, it is. I just wanted to bring this up. It's not really news. We announced this at the beginning of the month, but we're heading to the deadline, and I just thought it was worth pointing out. So thanks to our good friends at Blockies this year at TFNation 2025, we're finally getting the opportunity to run a custom competition. This has been something that people have requested for a long, long time. But to be honest, the logistics of being able to do it, having somewhere at the show to show off your customs, things like that, it's been impractical, unfortunately. But Blockies, we've teamed up with Blockies, and we're running two different competitions. Now, these competitions need to be submitted ahead of coming to TFNation. So there's two. The first competition is a mix and match. Basically, take any of your Galaxy Transformers, mix them together, create a brand new character, and send an email into us at competitions@tfnation.com. And we will collect all of those. And then over the course of the weekend, ourselves and Blockies will go through the entrants. You know, you can create elaborate backstories and bios, create names for them, and send us photographs of your creations. We've had some wonderful, weird and wonderful creations. The imagination of some people is fantastic. And then we will pick a winner, and that winner will be announced at our closing ceremony on Sunday, and there will be prizes to be won. The other one is the second competition, and this one is for the more experienced customizer. This is called From the Ground Up. Take Blockies parts, but this time it's not just a case of simply mixing and matching. This is a case of giving it a new set of paint, adding additional details to it, things like that. So this is, like I say, for a more experienced customizer to be able to go ahead and do that. And again, you know, build something, dioramas perhaps, or something like that, battle damage, and then send that in. And again, via the email and all of the details. And again, we will pick a winner. So I just wanted to make people aware of it because we're coming to the end now. As I say, it closes on the 7th, so it gives us a chance to look through them. Again, send all of your cool pictures as well, because we'll be displaying them at the show, and you've got a real good chance of winning some really cool swag.
Excellent. Hopefully lots of people, if they haven't already, will be rushing to get that sorted out and get their entries in, because it sounds like a lot of fun. And Blockies, I mean, we quite like them on this show. I think it's fair to say we talk about them every now and again, and I know that there'll be a lot of people out there who would like to have a go at this competition. So it's August the 7th that you need the entries in, isn't it? And it's competitions@tfnation.com. And do they have to put on their competition 1 or competition 2? Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Just
Brilliant.
in the title, competition 1, competition 2. We will, like I say, get all of the emails, all of the pictures, all of the bios, and we'll work through them, make a decision, and then, like I say, we'll announce the winners. Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. Shall we get into some toy news? Toy news. We'll start with this because this was from way back last weekend. So this was from the Animation Comic Game Hong Kong 2025 event that took place in China, and we had some Transformers product reveals by Unix Square. The images came from Isaac Wong on Facebook, and they had some prototypes basically and color samples of their Combot Transformers line. So the figures that don't transform directly, but you can rebuild them into their alt mode by reattaching pieces and adding some extra parts. So obviously we've got Optimus Prime, Starscream, whose jet mode isn't the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
You don't even take it apart; it just lays down.
Yeah, Grimlock.
Shut up.
That's a strange head. That's like a half-tuned dog toy.
It's one of those things where you have to really use the imagination here. There's Starscream again. Another shot of Optimus Prime a bit closer so you can see a bit more of the detail. Obviously articulated hands and things, so it's, you know, that's the jet mode for Starscream.
Yeah.
It's not the strongest, is it?
So
it's the guns as well make it look even more ridiculous. It's like, are we overcompensating for something, sir?
I have a question about these, right?
Go on.
This is breaking my brain. How is it that a toy that is a solid piece can be engineered in such a way to make it go from a robot to a truck, whereas this has total freedom over its parts, take everything apart, rebuild it, but it looks like this?
Yeah. It reminds me of what was the kids line that we had for one of the recent Transformers lines, and one of the toys was it would have a robot mode, but it would kind of just bend over, and that would be the vehicle mode. So there'd still be obvious robot legs or whatever, and that's what this reminds me of. I certainly hope these things are high end.
You're not thinking about run about and run amok.
Yeah.
They were fantastic, and I shall hear nothing said against them. But yeah, kind of. Less good though. That was the scary thing about those ones. Then we have Grimlock again in his robot mode. He has the obviously dinosaur head hand, very Beast Wars Megatron-esque. There's the alt mode for Prime, and again you just rearrange the parts. Oh, he has got little arms. I didn't notice his little arm there. Yeah, for a second there I couldn't see them because it was a grey model, but they are there. If anybody still can't see them, they're just there. Little arm right there.
Over by its head. No.
Yeah.
No.
It reminds me more of which one of the Terracons was the land shark? There's that kind of look to it. And there's Megatron, which is Combot G1 Megatron. So there's the robot mode. Oh, and that was it. That was the end of those ones. I thought we had another one of his vehicle mode, but we don't. So there you go. And then the other thing that came from last week's SDCC, which actually I've just realized I haven't actually shared those photos. Do we need to go through them again from last week? I know, Dave, you and Pete joined me and we went through them, didn't we? After the SDCC reveals, we looked at some of the photos and things. Do we need to look at them again? Because I can put them up after this. Or do we think, should we just direct people to our video? Because we need a video on it on the channel. If you haven't seen them, go and have a look. One of the reveals was this Nemesis Prime, Armada Nemesis Prime, based on the Legacy Armada Optimus Prime. And some photos kind of came out at the end of the weekend showing the combined mode, or at least Nemesis Prime transformed into his part of the combined mode, obviously without the trailer. And then that caused speculation. Some people saying, will we get a maybe slightly repainted black version with a trailer? Who knows? But I mean, it does look pretty fierce. I'm a fan of this, so you might be able to tell. But anybody else find this alluring at all?
it has been a while since I've watched Armada. Did Nemesis even form his super mode?
No, he was only there for one episode.
Yeah, he was.
So, yeah, so no.
No,
But you
I
know,
was just making sure my memory wasn't failing me. I was convinced that he never did.
it's more just the fact he can, Dave. If we're being honest, you know, I think some people would like to have that on their shelves, but you want a trailer that's probably the right colors, if you know what I mean. Rather than just
it's
using
almost like when they made Nemesis Prime 20 years ago, he was based on a completely different version of Optimus Prime, a totally different mold that couldn't combine.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
But obviously, that's not a possibility in the year of our Lord 2025.
Don't be foolish,
slap a
Dave.
bunch of mini-cons in. Bish, bash,
New molds. Let's calm down. So there was that. And I like the look of it, but I do think it needs the trailer. Then there is this. Now, this is already out. It's been out in Smiths. This is the Cyberworld Strike Battle Set Scorponok.
Just to the side of me.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Somebody who's got it. Andy, there you are. So here he is. We got in-hand shots there, and you're literally showing it as in your hand. What do you think of it?
I love it because it lights up. It's a proper great big kids toy. It's great. I mean, it's not a 60 quid toy. Let's all be honest, but it's great fun, and yeah, love it to bits.
It's weird because it like it is a kid's toy, but it's Scorponok, and like at £60, I don't think I would. But if it drops in price, you know, and you could pick it up a bit cheaper, I might get this. It wouldn't go with anything really on my shelves, I don't think, but I just like it. Again, maybe that's just me. Pete, what about you? Oh, go on, Dave.
I was just going to say, can I just add something here which has nothing to do with this toy?
Go on.
Has anyone tried watching the Cyberworld cartoon?
Yes.
I can't understand it. I keep watching episodes, and it keeps telling me it's episode 2, but I'm watching parts of episode 1, and I don't understand what's happening.
What it is. It's not that. I think what it is the episodes are 5 minutes long, but YouTube's algorithm's basically 10 minutes. So you got the first episode gave you 1 and 2 together. And what it looks like they're doing is they're showing you the next week you're showing the new episode, then last week's episode. So you got 1 and 2, then you got 2, then 1. You then got episode 3 and 2.
Right.
I discovered that last Saturday while I was basically going, what is this? Why? Who is doing this?
Right. Okay. I'm not going mad then. That's the important.
No.
So they're 5-minute episodes.
We were on a call last Saturday, and all of us having a bit of a meltdown because the cartoon's quite fun, engaging. But what are you doing? This makes no sense. And then puzzled out. And I'm like, that's who thought that? And please sack them. Because you want to build an audience, and it's perfect. It's great. It's on YouTube because that's where it should be. But it's like, don't do that.
Well, there you go. Mystery solved, Dave. Good question. All right. Well, we'll move on from that to a little bit more from SDCC, where we saw a few different things. We've got Age of the Prime's big convoy. There were some more pics of that actually on display at SDCC. Obviously, Dave, I know you're not bothered about this. You're not much of a fan of Beast Wars. Pete, you love this. You plan to pick this up, don't you? Is that how I got that right? Is that the right way around?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a couple. One in box, one
obviously,
one in a book mode.
I mean, a lot of people are really excited for this, and it does look. It looks at least like it's worth the money for the scale that it is, which you can't always say for the figures that we get. I want this as repainted though, as a Nemesis. That's the thing.
Well, don't worry, you'll get it.
No, you don't. You want one of the few really good BotCon repaints. You want the blue one, Ultra Mammoth.
All right, then I'll take that. That still sounds good.
Yeah.
It was a genius repaint job for whoever came up with that. Well done. But the Ultra Mammoth was grand.
And are these part of his weapons?
Yeah, there'll be his missiles that go on the side.
Right, there you go. And we also saw the grey models of the Titan class. Yeah, it is Titan class, isn't it?
Yeah.
Age of the Prime, Age of Extinction, Grimlock. And there's some shots there to give you an idea of the scale. They did say on the stream that there's an Optimus Prime that can ride on him, just like in the film. And there you go. And you can see how big he is compared to Studio Series 86 Grimlock, who is standing there looking rather small.
Did we say he was like 16 inches?
I think that's what they said. I haven't got it in front of me right now. It was on the previous week's information.
Really, I haven't got the space, but I'll get it and then we'll work it out when it gets it.
Yeah. We also got to see Studio Series Thundercrackers, or at least the Seeker mold, the kind of prototype one that they had there. So we can see the kibble on the back, how clean the legs are. Some people really excited for this, others not so excited, especially if you just shelled out for all of the Earthrise mold seekers. Yeah, it depends how much better it actually is than the Earthrise version. And this is these look like they're going to be very toon aesthetic as well. So if you're a cartoon guy, you might, or girl, you might prefer this, but I don't know.
I think that's going to be the appeal, isn't it? I can't imagine it can be that much better than the Earthrise mold, but it's going to be more toon. So whereas Earthrise wasn't as toon as it could have been, this will be. So you're at a crossroads, aren't you?
Got an open cockpit for what that's worth. Minimal back cable.
Whenever I see this guy, the only thing that pops into my head is, but he's got a new hat.
Exactly. That is it. I mean, there's less back cable, I suppose. You don't have the cockpit hanging out on the back as you do with the previous molds, but I don't know.
But then your payoff is that your wings aren't as clean either.
No, there is that.
But you can get him closer to the wall. As you pack your shelf.
The undercarriage doesn't look massively different to what we had with Earthrise. In fact, are the feet sticking out a bit more there? I don't know.
You know what though? Like, props to Hasbro for actually like bringing the prototypes along. I mean, when was the When was the last time we saw that? You know, that's cool. Like for people who were in attendance, for them to get a sense of it and stuff.
And they transformed it. Those are Evan's hands, I believe, and he transformed it. So there's photos of the whole transformation. There's probably a video somewhere of the whole transformation, should you wish to see it online. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel myself a massive sense of excitement for this. I don't think it's bad. I just don't. I'm a bit meh. There you go.
Well, like I said on the original video, you look at this and the thing that I struggle with in terms of the excitement is I look at that and I think of the other 5 figures after it that I would have to buy if I decided to sink into it.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless
said,
give me Sunstorm and I'll buy that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. When was the last time we had a Sunstorm?
Masterpiece, really?
Was it Masterpiece? I can't think of one since.
Did we not get a Tetrajet Sunstorm?
Yeah. Well, we got a yellow one, didn't we? Was that Sunstorm?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name now. Could have been. Yeah. Does that count? I'm not sure.
We shall call him the yellow one.
The yellow one. Yeah. Right. Windcharger has a movable face gimmick, so you can have him looking up. He also comes with the blast effects that can plug in on his front and back, so you can reenact his off-screen death and just, really enjoy the trauma of what we didn't see. But yeah, that was what's being shown off by those photos. The fact that from the back of the head, you can make the head look up and down. There you go. And then there was a few more photos that then got added. Obviously, Big Convoy has his own matrix there. I assume that's accurate to the cartoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And stores away, as you can see. We got some beast mode pics. And we also got to see what it looks like underneath, just in case you decide to display your figures like that. I don't know why you would, but you can. And then Amalgamous Prime, they were talking last weekend about the fact you can take it apart and you can create your own alt modes and your own like robot modes and kind of play around with it a bit like weaponizers. And there's something they built. I don't know what it is, but that's definitely something they built. And there's something else they built using parts of him. I guess it could be a tank, maybe. And then there's that using his hands. Paul, if he was here, would be going ballistic because he does not like to see hands on an alt mode in any circumstances.
And he's not here either, is he? So
Yeah.
people in the chat, hit the like. Hit the
Yeah.
like. Hit the like out of it.
Oh no, don't do that. He'll be fuming. We couldn't possibly tell people to like, share, and subscribe. That's just not what we do. Anyway, moving on. Transformers 1. Blockies had the little teaser for their Transformers 1 Optimus Prime, I'm guessing it is, rather than the Orion packs.
Action edition, isn't it?
That's right. It's they changed the name to Legend, and it confuses me. But it is Action Edition, yeah. So that's all we got. So we wait to see more of that in the near future, perhaps. And then Studio Series Scavenger. So this was purchased at that Hong Kong event that that we talked about earlier on. And these are in-hand pictures of it, which from the site I got them from were apparently the first in-hand pictures of him. So old box face. Do we like him? Do we think he looks better than previous Constructicons? What do we think?
He just looks so gangster with his. He just looks like he's wearing like jogging bottoms really low, doesn't he? Like the crotch touching his knees.
Just trousers hanging
How
around.
can you do Devastator without him? So you can't. So you're in. So they can make him look however you want.
He looks better than Bone Crusher. I mean, most things look better than Bone Crusher, but he definitely looks better than Bone Crusher. We're all gonna buy him. Why do we even bother?
Rolling, they hating.
And then we've got some photos of a complete Devastator. And some
rolling, we hating, all about Devastator.
He does look so good though, doesn't he?
That's Devastator.
Yeah, that looks really good. I'd have it in a pose like that. I'd leave it like that. It looks lovely. And then we had some other in-hand photos which came from the same source on Baidu, and it was another one of those users whose names I can't pronounce because they've written it in a language I don't read. But thank you to you, that user. In-hand images of the next Prime in the Age of the Primes collection. So this is our lad Micronus, and there he is. And the design team compared this to Pretenders. I don't know how we all feel about that. Because he looks more like the little minicon. He looks like he's from
RID 2015. Yeah,
RID 2015. That kind of minicon, but he rides inside the shell or whatever we want to call it, the mech. Would it be a gateway to doing Pretenders? Would that be a good thing? What do you think?
Yes, they're cowards. They should have done them years ago. Core class toys and bulkier action figures, you can easily do it.
I like it, Andy. Don't hold back. Get them told. You cowards. Build me Pretenders now. We need that kind of forthrightness. There's the, what are we calling it? Unicycle mode that he rides around on. And there he is with his shell again. So that'll be coming soon. It's one of those things that they always say, your pre-order says due October and then it arrives next week.
You imagine, like, coming online as a member of the 13 Primes. You've got one dude who's got a massive sword. You've got one dude who transforms into a dragon. You've got a woman with a giant hammer. You've got a dude who's literally on fire. And you're this tiny little dude who's got a slightly bigger body, which is still tiny. You'd just hate yourself, wouldn't you?
I was going to say he got the short straw, but I'm not sure if that's the right way to put it. But, hey, dad jokes. Alpha Trion. While we're on the subject of the primes, from the same Baidu user, we also get Alpha Trion, and we just basically get to see some photos that show off his posability, him in comparison to the other primes, as you can see there. It's a little bit shorter. Well, let's be clear, that Vector Prime isn't strictly speaking the Age of the Primes one because we haven't seen that yet. But that is the Legacy version and Primer on the left. So you can see a little bit shorter. Face sculpt.
Looks like he's got a cold sore.
Yeah, there's a little bit. I can't tell if that's the lighting or if he's got marks on his face. And then just some basic shots to show Kibble and the like. Half of his alt mode hanging off his back, as you can see. A picture that I forgot to rotate, but that's the Covenant of Primus and the quill/pen thing that he comes with, which he kind of holds like it's some kind of weapon at some point. I'm not sure if he's going to tickle them to death, but it's certainly an option. The book has pages. And the reason this photo is in, I realized, is because those are the bits that go on his shoulder. And they seem to be removable. Either that or they come loose in the box and you have to plug them in. So there you go. Did I just disappear? Oh, no, it was Andy. The other Andy.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Anyway, he's got a lot of ankle tilt, just in case anybody wasn't sure. You can break them. And you can have him writing in the Covenant and turn him into a shoe or whatever that is. If I'm being harsh about the alt mode, please do say. I just find it a bit like it's a thing because they had to put him into an alt mode. Yeah. There's the underside again. If you like to display Transformers upside down, you can have a good look at that.
First Transformer to come with book storage.
Yes, just about to say that. Yeah, he's got book storage, which is great for those long journeys.
To be fair, the alt mode wouldn't have been too bad if they'd have made the wings a bit better. It's like you say, it does look like a bit like a foot or a shoe at the minute, doesn't it?
It's slightly footy. Yeah, I mean, you can see why they've used Scourge as kind of a base mold for this a few times before. But you can give him the sword. There you go. And there he is hanging with the crew. And then the even bigger crew. Just all hanging out. And there he is in a box. So we know that this person got it in a legal way. And then this. Now, some people are very excited for this. Other people like me already had these molds and aren't that bothered. So this is Sandstorm with comic book / cartoon face and a Slug Slinger with, now what are they calling this color version? Because the first one we got was toy, then we got Japanese cartoon color, and then we get this. I'm not sure what this color is again. They have given it a name, but I can't remember what they said it was.
Well, that is toon color though, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Well, we have had this discussion before. In the Rebirth, he was black, but in Japan, he was more of a dark blue, wasn't he? Good. I'm glad we all know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, in the Rebirth, he's black, so that's what I assumed they were going for. With this.
Yeah, but it's a really dark blue instead.
Yeah.
Really
and then Sandstorm. And the differences here appear fairly minimal. It's mostly the head. If anybody else can see anything else that I've missed when looking at these photos, please do shout out.
It's like spots of difference, but there isn't any.
I mean, the bit of plastic just in front of his chin is a different color, I suppose. And they've painted these parts on the top of the chest. But it really is minimal differences. This is, again, I feel no compulsion to get this pack at all. Great for the people who need it and who didn't get these toys the first time around. It's fantastic. But I'm glad I'm saving myself £70 or however much this is. Helicopter modes. A comparison.
I could love, I think.
Yeah, we've got a comparison here with Caliburst, the Titans Return version, and obviously the new version on the left with the darker colors, and then the two toys side by side, and the two jet modes side by side. I think it's a really good toy. If you haven't got it, I think you'll like it. But yeah, I have it. Again, No compulsion to buy this version. Right up until that point where I see somebody else with it at TFN or something, and then I just buy it because I'm a complete mark. A complete mark. Then there was some more news from TFW 2005's JT Prime 17, whose predictions and leaks of possible figures have proven to be very accurate. So what he gave us was Transformers Generations Beast Wars Maximal Multipack. We don't know what that means yet, but we're getting a Maximal Multipack. We're getting a collaboration Hot Wheels Twin Mill 2, which again could just be a repaint. Could it be a 2-pack? I mean, it's probably a repaint, but no explanation at the moment. A Generation Studio Series Anniversary Deluxe Insecticon 3-pack. So we're basically just going to get all three of the ones they've released with slightly different paintwork, I would assume, in a 3-pack. As we've
Well
had
played, Hasbro. Well played.
Yeah, made us all go for the singular ones. Then, haha, here it is in a much easier to get box. Anniversary Studio Series Anniversary Voyager Starscream. Doesn't say which Studio Series, so I'm assuming it's just the Studio Series 86, but it could be different. Prowl as well. Will that be a new mold for Prowl? Is a question we won't know. And then there are some items that are Target exclusives, or at least one, and that's a Generation Studio Series Leader Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. So that's the 2007 movie Optimus Prime, which is a redo of the 2007 Bay Prime, and it says a 27 Leader. I'm not sure, was that Studio Series 27? Anything on there excite you at the thought? The Maximals pack, perhaps? Or are we thinking just repaint?
Smells of repaints.
Yeah.
The stench of repaints is in the air.
Oh, look, the box art's different. It must be different.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting if they, if they went out of their way to remold some of them a little bit. Like, you could get a Tasmanian Kid out of Rat Trap if you remolded him a little bit. You could get a Universe Optimus Primal if you repainted him. Like, there's things you can do.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It depends what they are. If they're different Maximals, if you're a Beast Wars fan, you're probably going to be, oh no, I actually do want those. But anyway, we'll move on. So this is here because there was going to be a 40th anniversary selection Leo convoy from Takara. Then we got this message which went out from Pop Culture saying that the toy had been cancelled and that they were refunding the people's pre-orders. Only for less than 24, well, not even 24 hours. It was like literally a matter of hours later, a release date and other information to come from Takara saying it hasn't been cancelled. So this was put in to tell you all that the figure was cancelled, and it's not, apparently. Takara are still releasing it. So ignore that. We'll move on. There's the Titan class Grimlock that was released. Somebody did a comparison photo with the previous Studio Series Leader Grimlock, so you can see the height difference. I can't see this figure being like a 200-pound figure. I think you said it, Dave. The last one was like 150 pounds, and I think we'll be looking around that mark just because of the size of it. But if you are a movie fan and a fan of Grimlock from the movies, you will, I'm sure, be very excited for this. And then we got this. So this is the first full artwork that we've had of Bruticus from Age of the Primes. That's it, really. Anybody feeling any more excitement for Bruticus as a result of this artwork?
He looks very happy as he's skipping along there. It's a
He
very
does look like he's skipping along. He's a happy boy.
I appreciate it's just a bit of artwork, but it's like, show me Swindle.
How much of Swindle could we see there? Oh, not much, because it was blocked by the logo. I'm sure somebody will have done something to remove the logo, and you can see that little bit more of him. But we shall see. YOLO Park have done officially showed off a gallery of their Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. This is from their AMK Pro line. 22 centimeters tall. It features die-cast parts and premium finishing, LED lights, and several accessories. And it is a movie-accurate sculpt. It also has interchangeable hands and, stuff like that. The hands are also movable, highly detailed. Do any of us, Andy, I don't know about you, or Dave, I'm not even sure with yourself, but does anybody collect these kind of higher end non-transforming figures, or
I've got a couple of them. Got the 3ML DX, a couple of them, but
right.
I'm not in on the ranges. It's just if a figure catches my eye, it's like I'll have that. But
yeah, which is the best way to be, in my opinion, rather than feeling like you have to be a completist. If only for your bank balance and everything else. Space as well. It's incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
And apparently has 3 selectable lighting modes. But yeah, I could see people like Brandon Abeverse of Madness wanting to be all over this and adding it to their collection. I don't have any information on price because, of course, they're not going to give me that. But yeah, if you're a movie fan, I actually whisper it quietly. I didn't mind the design for Megatron in this. I like the big cannon and the fact he just looked kind of gnarly. But yeah, I won't be picking this up.
I'm a big fan of most of the movie designs. The biggest problem with them is they're all grey. It's like put colour on them.
Yeah,
I mean, that could do with a couple of splashes of black or dark blue from his cartoon / comic.
Yeah,
pepper something in than just to, because those little gold accents are nice, but it's not enough. So
yeah, I think a lot of people said that about the movie designs, just sometimes the lack of color in robot mode. But anyway, right, missing link. So we got these teasers from Takara. So we are getting a Nemesis Prime, a missing link Nemesis Prime, based, we assume, off the Optimus Prime mold we've already had a couple of times repainted. We are getting, or rather, Takara are doing their T-Spark Zone Hearts of Steel 2-pack of Megatron and Bumblebee. They're also advertising the same 2-pack of Slugslinger and Sandstorm that we've already seen. And I've completely forgotten the name of the guy on the left. Somebody in the chat helped us out, or any of you guys, if you can remember. But Onyx Prime, obviously, on the right. Oh, what is the name of the one on the character on the left? It's gone. Anyway, we're getting that. So we got those as teasers. And again, within hours. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Movie Bumblebee and Gamer Starscream, or it might be Thundercracker, or it might be Skywarp. Let's be honest, it could be any of the 3. And then we got that. So this was hours after the teasers. This was shared from Takara. So there is the reveal of it. And it is a Black Prime. It's a black Missing Link Prime. Now, Dave, do you have Missing Link Prime? If so, would you be tempted to pick this up?
I am the one guy that does not own any Missing Link.
I'm sure you're not the only one, but no, not for you then?
No.
Andy, what about you?
No.
I have no interest in this because I have Missing Link Prime, Missing Link Convoy, and Missing Link Sentinel Prime / Juggermorph.
There you go.
So I'm sorted for Missing Link Optimus right now.
Good for Missing Link Optimus molds. Pete, is this something you'd pick up?
No.
Good. We'll move on then. This is via the Hasbro shop website. It's the first stock images of the new Transformers Earthspark Deluxe Spitfire. This is the Chaos Terran version, isn't it? The kind of evil. What is it? Well, are we saying bad guy doppelganger? I suppose. It's so weird because it's another series that they're cancelling as far as we're aware, and getting the toys, it just strikes me like Transformers 1. Like, we get these things out quicker and maybe it all goes a bit better. I don't know. Just feels like a missed opportunity, but then I don't run Hasbro and I probably don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
like somebody found these in the back of a cupboard. And was
oh my god, did somebody finish this? All right, we'll put it out.
What did you mean you didn't release them? We do them now.
Then we had, this is 3 Zeros, Transformers 1, MDLX Optimus Prime. This came from Weibo user Mangangwan. And there he is. And then he's the one on the left at the front, I believe. Next to a few other Optimus Prime, so you get an idea of scale, I suppose. And I think that's it for mainline news. So shall we do some third party? Because we are contractually obliged to.
Let's do it.
Battle this.
It's heavy metal crunchy time as Optimus Prime goes toe to toe with combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a transformer missile fun phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can mad out more for use mega force, but coming Optimus is still standing.
Awesome. Right, we're starting with something that's not actually a transformer, but we have featured these previously on third party news, so I've chucked it in there because I know some people are also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, and these are, I think, transformable. Well, the mechs anyway. This is the Heat Boys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mecha Shredder that was on display at Wonderfest 2025 last weekend. So it is a mecha version of Shredder. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the other versions of these toys. If you've seen these before, there they are.
Does he come with a too sweet hand gesture?
I was about to make the Kevin Nash joke.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it comes with a hell of a lot of legs. I mean, that figure's at least 70% legs. Looking at it there.
If it's if it's a Kevin Nash tribute, then the knees have to be knackered.
That is the rule. Probably is. Then we have Doctor Who, because we always have Doctor Who. It's like they just exist to be on our news every week. So this is Doctor Who's Golden Lagoon collection, I suppose, of Beachcomber, Sea Spray, Powerglide, and Cosmos. I think they've either already done some of these Golden Lagoon figures, or they're doing some, because there's at least one other that we see through the course of these pictures. Anybody collect any Doctor Who? Anybody interested in picking these up?
The odd wee bit here and there. Moff was trying to tempt me into them just to obviously go with all the maxes that I have, but it's like I'm not a fan of the Golden Lagoon stuff, just because they don't really look golden, more like Caramax. And there's a little, if you look at the plastic, there's a bit of a green tinge to the limbs.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
That famous Generation 1 episode, the Caramac Lagoon.
Caramac Lagoon. Oh.
Gold bars.
I mean, the water effect does have the slight hint of urine about it, which is slightly off-putting as I'm looking.
If we weren't cleaning up our apps, I was going to say something, but we are cleaning up our apps, so they're not for me.
I use the technical term. I mean, these Doctor Who figures do seem to look really good with like your Fortress Maximuses, your Grand Maximus, your base mode things. Otherwise they're just too small. I just don't get the appeal of, like, great, they transform, they're tiny. Why do I want that?
Fiddle factor is more than anything else for a lot of the wee toys. That's, if they're at the desk, they are perfect for just kind of a wee foot about when you're supposed to be working. Or
in teaching, it's a little bit harder to sit and do that. Just sit down, kids. I just need 5 minutes.
Teaching them valuable life skills, how to transform toys.
Taking the difficult to transform ones and get them to do. I could take Cliff Jumper in P. Anyway, there's Optimus Prime and Blaster, so that's why I assume they've done other Golden Lagoon figures before, or that's their little tease of revealing the Golden Lagoon, Optimus Prime, and Blaster. But it wasn't mentioned in the little press release thing that we were looking at. Then something else that's Transformers adjacent, because it's Mask, and they're licensed by Hasbro, but they're being made by loyal subjects. And this is a special 40th anniversary, or the special 40th anniversary edition figures, available from the loyalsubjects.com, as it says, pre-sale on the 5th of August, as opposed to the 8th of May, which I always want to say as, but Americans swap it around. So you've got Rhino, you've got Thunderhawk, You've got high-tech helicopter, Switchblade. We all know it's Switchblade. Just call it Switchblade. And they just come in these black and gold, or Karamak, depending on how you look at it. Decos. There's Condor. Is anybody else getting these? I know me and Pete are getting the normal coloured releases. These mostly because I missed out. Are they all sold out everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not all of them, but like you can get about 2 out of 5. Unfortunately, Rhino is not and Switchblade are not in the 2 out of 5. So because I missed the pre-order window, because I was actually busy doing TFN work, funnily enough. And then it's like, I should have gone have a wee look. I was like, I'll try here. I'll try here. But yeah.
You would hope if they go well, though, you'll get them released again, or there'll be another. They'll get more of them out.
I'm more fascinated to see how long it takes Hasbro to take the license back, given the success of the launch of these, and just goes, oh, there is a market. Right.
Thanks, guys. We're just going to take that back now. Yeah, that will be the next step. I'm sure some people will buy these, especially if you're a massive Mask fan. You might be really liking this, but hey, Moff! I didn't want to say Moff in case there were still.
Comment of the night.
Yeah, he's always working. Always working, that lad. Anyway, these, I wouldn't be rushing to pick these up just because it's the normal coloured versions that I crave rather than these are a novelty, but if you got the money and the space, great.
Or I would just go, because I had, when Mass did the figure repaints with the little sets back in there, that's what I had loads of them with like your green and yellow mat trackers and what have you. Your Miles Mayhem and his Gap military outfit. Big, very nice khaki. It's like, I had all them. So it's like, if you're going to the repaint, well, why not do them rather than, like they're, as someone said in the chat, Terry's all gold version of Mask.
What was the old racing car? Is it JP Player or something like that used to have the black and gold livery on it?
Yeah.
Cigarette company as it was back in those days.
Yeah.
And maybe that's another reason why I'm not that keen on it. Anyway, New Age Toys. I've done a Build-A-Figure about X. This is to show the progress of it so far. These pictures were shared by Weibo user Washi Jojoa. And it shows off what they've released so far to build this Autobot X figure. Obviously, not all of it's out and available yet. And then that's what you will be getting once you get all of the parts. And obviously, it's a Build-A-Figure, so each part comes with a different New Age purchase that you make. Anybody, I don't like Build-A-Figures. I don't know why. I don't like the idea of them. Because if you miss out on one of the figures or two of the figures in whatever the wave is, you're kind of stuck. But anybody else particularly keen on these? Or
I think it allows them to, because it wouldn't be popular enough to sell on its own. So
no,
but they're going to buy Trailbreaker, Wheeljack, Hound. So do you stick it in as a nice to have? I don't know. It's not.
Isn't an excuse to bump the price up a bit though? And then you get something you didn't really ask for.
I don't think it's really increased to price. Well, I suppose it has. If you only get the torso and you want the rest of it, you're buying figures that perhaps you didn't want. So maybe it does by consequence.
But you can get it anyway if you collect all of these New Age figures. I'm sure I'll just beat them off to it. They're probably available from Primetime Toys. Just have a look if you're really after them. And if not, Moff will tell us in the chat. See, Moff always grinding some. And there's a picture. You could have a setup like that, look, and have your own diorama to show off Autobot X, looking lovely.
If you're that one person on the planet who's like, I'm desperate for an Autobot X diorama.
Who is though? Rohan, you will be. I know you will be, Rohan, if you're watching. I can already feel it in my bones.
Favorite episode.
You know he will be. We got this. So this is Magic Square Toys Transporter, which is a Legend Scale Ultra Magnus version 3.0. This is the prototype, a color prototype that they have released this picture of, or somebody has released this picture of, so you get an idea of how it looks. I know we have many Ultra Magnus fans, including Borders Dude, Mr. John Grieve, who prefers the white Optimus Prime look to Ultra Magnus, but I'm sure he'll like this too. And then, just for reference, these were the renders that they actually originally released. Any big Ultra Magnus fans be picking this up? Good. And that's what I like to see.
Maybe. I'm not saying yes.
You know you will, you liar. And then Galaxy Toys Mini 08 Destroyer, which is a microscale Megatron. These photos came from Weibo user 23McG. Excuse the pixelated nature of them. When they were downloaded, they turned out to be really small pictures, so I've had to kind of enlarge them just so we can see them properly. It's just a mini Megatron. It's just a little old Megatron. If you want to get it. Now, it's micro scale. I'm sure we showed like the prototype of this at one point, and it really is small, this.
Yeah.
Like a couple of inches, if that, that, I think. Smaller than a Micromaster. How do you get, if you want to get a faction sticker on, how the heck do you get that on a figure that small?
Tweezers and a lot of patience.
I would not have that patience. But there he is.
Scepter and a pair of tweezers.
But considering the tiny size of it, you've got to be impressed by the general look and detail on it. But just, again, it's another one. It's just so small. Why? I'd just lose it. I'd drop it down the side of the couch or something. But you can do that with it, and you can recreate that. And then for Pete, because I know Pete likes his Dinobots, that's the Magic Square Toys, Stegosaurus and Pterosaur, which is their Legend Scale Snarl and Swoop. And these are the prototypes that came from Weibo user Momoa Loves Model Play. Yeah, this is, well, Snarl.
51 minutes in, and this is the headline. I've been waiting for bloody ages for these.
It's Snarl, right? Everybody loves Snarl. Anyway, they're coming. We knew they're coming, but they're coming. And there they are. And it's Snarl, so I'm interested. And that's the end of the news. It's a good job we didn't go through SDCC stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say 52 minutes.
Andy and David never get to TFN.
Shall we speak?
Cancelled why they're still on the podcast.
Yeah.
Shall we speed straight into some pickups?
Why not?
We now return to the Transformers.
The area of the show where we tell you what we've got in our last 7 days, apart from Dave and Andy, who can say they got something they got in the last 7 days, even if it was 6 months ago, because we don't know any different. Who would like to go? I'm asking you. I'm picking Andy Turnbull to go first.
Funnily enough, I haven't actually got anything, but I was in the loft. I said, I was looking for stuff, and I needed a box for sending things for TFN, and found a box of Junkers that a friend of mine gave me years ago. I found other things, but I found a rather battered, stanky old Ratchet to go with the two. Very, you won't be able to see it, but nice and yellowed. So
you can kind of see it.
Yeah,
I'll kind of keep him along with a few other bits and bobs. A little jangly, a thrust that just will not stand up, and a rather battered hot rod. So, which I'm thinking I will strip down and make into Marvel G2 colors. I found a rather nice purple spray to use, so it's like something for after TFN though, because I don't have time to do anything like that right now.
Fair enough. That's quite a nice find though when you find something like that, just in a box somewhere, and you had it.
it is like a pickup though, isn't it? Because you
Feels like it.
So yeah, so it's brand new.
Yeah.
Andy Wright. Would you
Yes. Well, as you know, I'm on an embargo. A, because of TFN, and B, because of my impending birthday. The only thing I've invested in this week, which counts as my first TFN purchase, is I have ordered my physical copy of Thunderclash Gets It Together. And I would advise anybody else watching who has not done so, or who prefers the digital version, there's a digital version as well, to get on this and get a copy ordered as soon as you can, because it looks like it'll be a great comic book, and it's got lots of fantastic artists, some of whom will be attending, if not all, I don't know, but some of whom at least will be attending TFN, and it's for charity. I mean, what better than doing something for charity that also gets you something awesome? And of course, it is. I think I'm correct in saying, lads, it is also kind of in what's the word? With Toifu as well. So it all kind of comes together lovely.
Yes, you'll be able to pick up from the TMUK table, and well, I drew something in it, so it's bound to be amazing.
Yay!
But no, so you'll be able to pick up. It's fantastic. Work's already being started on next year's one. So
Wow.
Now that is forward planning. I'm going to put the link to the what do we call it? Coffee page. So if people do want to go and grab themselves a copy of it, I'm going to put that into the live chat now. And if Pete, you could remind me after the show, I'll also put a comment. I'll put it into the actual comments for this episode so that people can click on it as well. And hopefully they'll get a few more copies of it sold as well and raise a little bit more money, and everybody can feel happy about themselves.
And I want to say the window for ordering it for TFNation, I think, is this weekend, isn't it?
yeah, I'm
I
sure
believe
it closes.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want it, get it.
Yeah.
So that's if you want your physical copy, because enough of us will be there that will quite happily deface it and devalue it by writing on it. But digital copies will remain afterwards as well. But again, if you're anything approximating us and old farts, it's paper copies are better. There's just something better about that tactile experience.
Correct. Definitely. Anyway, that is literally it. That is my only pickup from this week. As I've already said, TFN and my birthday are literally round the corner.
David Wallace, what did you get this week?
Brilliant, yes. Unlike Andy, I went totally capitalist this week. And it had nothing to do with charity. It all had to do with me. Yeah, it was weird. Like this week, I think I've got more than I've ever had in a long time. This popped up on a YouTube, Facebook marketplace. I got the IDW bludgeon, which is cool, and it's always nice whenever you get like a Voyager figure for a deluxe price. So got him. And then at the beginning of the week, I went on In Demand, and Nick was having a sale. So I got Galvatron.
Nice.
And I got Wheeljack. And I already own Megatron, but I always loved the purple on Galvatron, and I wasn't going to buy Wheeljack because he's not in the right colours, but he was on sale, so I did. And because of the fact that I have been rereading Armada and Energon in preparation for TFNation, there is a reason. I'm not just reading it for the sake of it, though I totally am. So I was just in a kind of Armada-y mood. So I did that. And then last but not least, this came through as a pre-order because I ordered this from Hasbro, and Hasbro were like, yeah, it's, third quarter of 2025. So I'm thinking that's plenty of time. And then you get the invoice like 2 weeks later or something like that. And it's the Gameverse Psylocke and Thanos 2-pack.
Oh, wow.
Which has just come in. Because I am an absolute sucker for Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, all of that stuff. And I've been deep in the Jada, and this one's the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter figures. So, I'm deep to fill the Marvel roster as well. And clearly Hasbro want it as well because they're putting out Gamerverse. And it's hilarious watching them try to sell a product when they aren't legally allowed to mention which game it came from. So I thought it was fun. But all of them shall remain completely sealed until a week Wednesday.
Nice little reward to yourself.
I'm a little bit busy.
Yes.
Right.
Just
so
so
I too am subject to the purchase embargo with TFN, but unlike Andy, I read the small print of the legislation.
Here we go.
And it didn't apply to, let me make myself big. So it didn't apply to stuff that I had on pre-order. So I'd already paid for this. All right. So this was exempt. So this is Magic Square's Vortex, which is a beautiful looking boy. Just reading through the chat when you guys were talking, so many people got him this week. He comes with a torso. So I've got a left foot, a right foot, an arm, and a torso. I've got no way of connecting any of them, and we don't know when Vortex is coming. So it's a kind of a bit like we've been teased, but an awesome, very toon aesthetic look to Vortex. So another one, I had Skybite on pre-order with the 2-pack of the Constructicons, but In Demand had them available. So I cancelled it on the pre-order, which technically does still count as a pre-order, and got him this week. So technically this isn't subject to the purchase embargo either, even though it is a Transformer because it was on pre-order. So he's a very cool fella.
You find more loopholes for buying Transformers than Chelsea do for getting around PSR in football. This is ridiculous.
I haven't.
Look, Mellowshade knows it. Look, Pete's a lawyer tonight. He says, unbelievable.
I haven't got to the rest, but look, everyone knows. Everyone knows the special place that Skybite has in Transformer fans' heart. The great Peter Spellos, great figure. Really glad to pick that up. Obviously, the purchase embargo relates to Transformers. Really, it doesn't relate to Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So on In Demand, they had I don't know if Nick had found some, but I was missing the Green Goblin on card. I got it in the 2-pack. That's going to be my out of card one, but this is going to go up on the wall with the rest of them. Obviously, we know Master of the Universe isn't subject to the purchase embargo, so we picked up Takara as well from Evil Bay for a very reasonable price. And when I was on In Demand and I saw the Green Goblin, next to the Green Goblin, they had the next wave of X-Men 97 up for pre-order. Now, I really liked that wave, and then I realized I didn't have the others, and were In Demand selling the other bits of X-Men 97, and they were. So we got Storm, because I missed them the first time around. So we got Storm, Executioner, Bishop. Why is that the only comment you share?
It's not the only comment. I've shared lots of comments.
Yes.
It's just that one.
And Cyclops, as well as the other bits that are getting a reissue that are coming at the same time as Wave
Oh my
3 or whatever. But that's okay, because I never broke the embargo.
Oh, you are such a politician now.
At no time did I encroach against the rules of engagement.
I like Dave's comment. It really isn't screaming embargo, to be honest. You're right.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Nick, get a grip. Come on now, poor Pete. Poor Pete and his 1,000 toys. Anyway, shall we crack on?
Bearing in mind that he's probably looked at the footage from SDCC, seen all of the Masters of the Universe figures that are coming out, realised he's going to have to sell a kidney.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going to sell the house instead.
But where are you going to keep the toys then?
I think it's time for some foreplay. If my purchases were.
I think we've already had foreplay. Thank you very much, Pete.
Yeah.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Unless you've been living under a rock for the last 12 months, we know that we have been building TFN next weekend. And one of the great things about TFN is there is a dealer hall as far as the eye can see. It's a bit like everything the light touches is dealer hall. What are we looking forward to picking up from TFN? So it could be toys, it could be artwork, it could be memories and great times and friends and laughs. But is there
Right,
anything?
Can we get that out of the way first? Obviously, we're all looking forward to good times with new, old and new friends, making connections, the whole human experience. Now that we've got that out of the way, can we actually say what things we want to pick up? Because we can cut out all that moralizing rubbish and get to the toys and the artwork.
I like people.
I want to make new friends. We all want to make new friends.
Who would like to go first?
I'm happy to go first very quickly because I will be the materialistic person in the group, and I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway because I don't care if people judge me. Right, I want G1 stuff. Only after I downloaded the photo from Cybertron.com did I realize that they're wearing each other's hats. Swapped around there. I wonder if the person who took the photo knew it. I don't know. So that's something. G1 bots are definitely something I'm going to be looking out for. I know it's really supposed to be one, but we're let's be honest, none of us are just going to buy one thing. Pretender Starscream, I'd like to get a decent version of Pretender Starscream, because I don't have it. Like even that photo. Sorry, go on, Andy.
I'm just about to say I'm very sorry because Toyfu did have one. But
I saw it in the video.
I've already exerted privilege and called dibs. So
well, yeah, but here's the thing: Toyfu dibs I could live with because you guys put so much work and effort into Toyfu. I think you should have that little bit of privilege that if you see something you need for your collection, fair enough. So I'll look elsewhere. I shall look elsewhere to give my hard-earned pennies to someone else for one, and I certainly won't curse you, Andy. And then Landmine. Is the only one of the original 3 Autobot pretenders that we got over here that I've ever really liked. I've never been that fussed by Cloudburst or what was the other one? Was it
Wave Rider?
Wave Rider, thank you. Yeah,
he's got the nicer color scheme in robot mode because I've got him. He's up on the shelf there. Precisely that. I like the no Landmine because it's that.
Oh, Landmine, yeah.
The grey, red, and black and yellow. A really nice color scheme on the robot.
Yeah. I agree. He's the only one that I really kind of would like to try and pick up if I can. Perhaps a bit of a longer shot is the original Armada Nemesis Prime figure. But the whole point is it's like stuff we'd love to get if we can find one. So I'm going to chuck it out there. I'd love to try and pick one of these up if I can. And because I don't want to hug all the time, the other thing, I'm sticking with the theme, if you haven't noticed there. So Scourge, the RID, original RID version of the figure. I am looking out for one of those as well, which again seems to be quite a hard one to find. Like I looked on eBay just the other week, and I could literally only find one, not even like a partial or a bit of one, literally just one, and it was being sold in somewhere like Germany, and it worked out at about £250, not including postage.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is not going to be an easy thing to find. But, it's what we're hoping to pick up. So there'll be lots of other things. You'll get into that dealer hall. We all do. You have a walk around and you end up buying something you weren't expecting at all. But like things that I have in my head, my list is generally quite short. I looked at last year. I had a list because I'm like that. And I made a list of what I wanted to get at last year's TFN. And the list consisted of 6 things. And I ended up getting 5 of those. Although 2 of those were very kindly donated to me. One as a birthday present and one as just a present. So that's the things I'm looking for. Also, I'd like to get some artwork this year. I've got a really nice print by David Cousins, which is up there. I'd like to get some artwork from the wonderful Jack Lawrence, who we are sponsoring as well. Obviously, the Thunderclash gets it. I always want to say Thunderclash goes banana, but Thunderclash gets it. Never the comic book and everything else. And yeah, I think a little bit more time spent in the Forge might be worth doing this year. That's it.
Very wholesome.
Yeah, really materialist.
short
Come
list.
on.
I don't really go with a list, really, apart from these 20 things that I want to get.
I mean, there was literally four photos, 5 photos. I mean, 20 is a bit of an exaggeration, Mister. I picked up 30 things this week.
It wasn't my fault. Loophole. Dave Wallace, what would you like to pick up from TFN?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. Everything that like I haven't bought yet is really all of the modern stuff that's just hitting now. That's the really expensive stuff. So Star Convoy, Silverbolt, I still don't have yet. So we're looking at these 150, £100 figures, things like that. So while they're like a potential, like I wouldn't necessarily just buy them for the sake of it, because you'll be able to get them for months to come. So I'm sort of looking at TFN this year as like, okay, what can I get that isn't going to be in the store in a month's time? And it's madness, to be honest. It's driving me mad because I'm not entirely sure. But I did have this thought, and I'm going to share it with you all. All right. Marcelo's coming to the convention. Marcelo drew Dreamwave, and he still owns the pages. I wonder how much they would cost. I'm just throwing it out there. Well, more specifically, the pages that I'm thinking of is the pages that he drew for War Within Volume 3, Issue 4, which was the one that myself and Andy Turnbull and Mr. Chris Carter helped restore. So it's like got a sentimental attachment as well. But like, I don't want to ask him, like,
Well, how do you plan on getting them then? That's kind of the first step.
Clip this, and then just get someone else to share it with him. Just act, oh, have you seen this, Marcelo? Just, I don't know if you're interested.
I know, but the problem is that he will, and quite reasonable. And I'm not saying this or anything, but like the thing that I would hate would be if it would be like, yeah, like, I don't know, let's just say like £700, and you'd be like, oh, that's nice. I don't know. Like,
let me think about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, okay, yeah. Well, look, I'll have a wander around and have a think about it.
Let me just do a couple of laps first.
Dave, just get someone in the audience for his panel to ask the question. Just get a plan. Any questions from Marcelo?
Yes, Marcelo. How much are your pages specifically from what was it? Issue 4.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
The thing is, you don't need to get pages. They probably will be a wee bit pricey, but again, it's a case of speaking as someone who has spent far much more money on art than he should over the years. Yeah, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
I think that's
maybe
really good.
You can just get him to do me like a sketch, like just a really beautiful like Generation 1 Optimus Prime or something like that, But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going in without a list, really. Just a really crazy idea.
I like it.
So I'll probably come away with a Star Convoy in a
Silverbolt. Oh, Beast Wars! I completely you being there, Dave, has reminded me. I want a Beast Wars Transmetal Tarantulas as well. If anybody sees one that's complete, give us a shout. Thank you. Just to cheer Pete up because he loves Beast Wars so much, he'll be so happy that I'm interested in picking up a complete Beast Wars figure.
Finding somewhere else to sit. Saying.
I'm gonna make you transform it. Anyway.
I'll go next very quickly. There are just a couple of things on my list. One being, I would love an animated Rodimus. I think it's only one of the normal bots that I've got left to pick up. So I would love a minty box fresh Rodimus. That'd be amazing. And also, a Carnivac and Snarler.
Love them.
I feel like where I've suffered through the purchase embargo, these would be reward for.
There was a lot of suffering you did.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm glad you recognise that, Andy. It's been a tough couple of weeks in this household.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Nick, I don't know if you've noticed, Pete, that Nick's in the
Is he?
Tofu. He's in the chat. He's already told me that he thinks they've got a transmetal tarantulas. I love it,
And he
Nick.
thinks
Always
they've got a Rodimus as well.
Yeah. He thinks they've got a Rodimus.
We have to deal in absolutes, Nick. I think. Have you got a Carnivac? Have you got a Carnivac and Snarler in as well?
Don't all start throwing questions like that.
What is it about dealers lurking in your chat?
Because they know where the money is, Dave. That's what it is. They've seen Pete's holes every week.
Just open a couple of boxes. If you don't see it, that's fine.
I
Yeah,
don't know
so
what
those
it
two.
means, but-
I think there's quite a few things that I like, but I do also like just wandering around and seeing stuff.
Can I just say that was the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard? Only 3 things, because I guarantee you, Pete, you will come away with a lot more than that. I know what you like. You walk around and you just see something and get that little sparkle in your eye.
But I'll be really gutted if I come away with a load of stuff and those 3 aren't in it at all.
Oh, well, I think they might be.
Fingers crossed. Mr. Turnbull, last but not least.
I don't really have a huge list because I can't speak for Dave, but I'm in the dealer room fleetingly throughout the weekend because I'm usually busy doing stuff. So you kind of walk around and I sometimes just forget to get anything. So or I'll come back and I'll do it later. Then you get sidetracked. I mean, I have my toy food list already in terms of things that I'll be picking up, and I've wondered. And in terms of actually things I want to pick up is James Roberts' book Generation Mech, just because it's talking about the wilderness years of Transformers fandom, which when it wasn't a pop culture juggernaut, which is mad to think of now, but was there. Obviously, various art books I've already pre-ordered, but yeah, just anything that catches my eye. The only thing is there won't be a huge amount of comics there, which is kind of there's very rarely anything, which is the only thing, because that's just me. I'll always, if I see a decent Marvel, it's like, yeah, I've got that, but that looks slightly better, I'll pick it up. It's almost always guaranteed for me to part with cash for, but we're kind of a little underserved in terms of people selling comics at the event.
Or alternatively, he'll find somebody who's selling Marvel comics and then just hand them to me and go, you need this one, you need this one, you need this one, you need this one.
I wasn't wrong.
No, you weren't.
You needed them, and so you got them.
That's true.
It's a wonderful thing, though, Eddie. You said then about when you were in that dealer hall and the forge and everything, you will walk around and you will see things just on a whim that you didn't even realize necessarily you wanted, and that's quite a nice thing when you get something you weren't expecting.
I think it's the thing is, like, for me, it's like a lot of the toys you can get if you're patient anyway, just through eBay, Yahoo Japan, whatever. So it's a case of it's not. I think going there with the grey item sometimes kind of sets you up for a bit of disappointment. If like I've got my mindset on, oh, I'll get that, and it's kind of, so I was just going to go with, it could be nice to see that. If I don't, that's fine. But I'm kind of, the amount of toys that I've bought, donated to Toy Foo, then bought back several years later is just not even funny.
I was going to say, that's the big one, is does Mr. Turnbull come away with something that he once owned?
Again.
The handy thing is, because of COVID and Nick having got a few acquisitions, a lot of the stuff that is planned to be donated over the last sort of 3 years is still in boxes in my loft, which will be going down after. So it's next year it will be the problem, because my rule of thumb is the minute a box up, it's Toy Foo's, even if it's not left my house. So if I want it back, I will have to give Nick money for it. He tells me no, but that's my rule, and I stick to it. So kind of think, no, I've said I'm giving you it, you're going to get it. So therefore, if I want it back, tell me what I'm paying. But yes, it's the Toy Food toy rental scheme has been a thing of great wonder and source of great income for Nick over the years.
Oh dear. What a great idea.
It's not a great idea. It's a good idea in theory, but look at your bank balance and then go, eh. Because they get more expensive. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're not going down.
The first time I bought it, this was cheaper, Nick. Come on.
Oh dear.
Do you know what, Nick? That's it. Bringing it back down to Mary's Mel's.
Yeah.
Again, exactly. It's doing it's doing good work, and if someone enjoys it for a while before donating it back or what have you, and there's some toys I generally won't get rid of anymore, or I'd find it hard pushed to. But again, what is really rare anymore if you think about it? So that's kind of always in the back of my head, and it's like, well, yeah, it's nice to have it, but I've enjoyed it. Someone else might enjoy it.
What's a good attitude to have? Shall we do? Sorry, Dave.
Oh no, I was just saying I've got this weird image in the back of my head now of just Mr. Turnbull getting woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and Nick's just in his house putting things in a cardboard box. It's a box, like some kind of Grinch transformation.
The opposite of Santa. I've opened all your presents, Andy, and I don't think you want these ones.
Yep.
Should we do some socials? And
yes,
probably do a disclaimer that this is likely to be the most distressing thing you'll see on the internet today. But here goes.
My Amish friends call me Lorna. I'm coming out of the fauna. If my cat died, I would mourn her. It's time for Social Corner.
I mean, I promised it would be the most distressing thing you see on the internet today.
Haunting your dreams.
Right. Ian Pesty with, and I know before anyone says it, I didn't crop the picture properly. I know, I'm sorry. Ian Pesty art on Blue Sky, with, let's get a closer look of Soundwave. That is, I just think that's gorgeous. I know he's been around 40 odd years and there's so many pictures of the original G1 stuff, but this just is sublime. It's just such a gorgeous piece by Ian Pesty. Moth on, not the moth, a different moth on Blue Sky, how to catch a cassette player. Just clever and just another gorgeous piece of artwork. We are very lucky, and Andy and Dave will see this so much with their work with TFN. In this fandom, we have a lot of very, very talented individuals, and Social Corner could be 3 hours every week. Nat Phoenix on Blue Sky has finished their every G1 Decepticon on a print.
Pick them all out.
I need to buy this. Yeah, I need to buy this. They did an Autobot one a couple of years ago. I've been following the progress on Blue Sky, and I think it started off. It turned into a bit of a labour of love towards the end. I think they were just pleased to get it finished, but I added the Autobot one just for comparison, but just again, so talented. And obviously Dinobots front and center where they should be. Sid Van Blue with the King. Such a gorgeous watercolor piece. Not a regular piece. Certainly, I see on social media artwork in watercolors, but gorgeous nonetheless, and a work in progress. Can't wait. Hopefully, they will publish the finished article. Definitely not the reason why I put animated Rodimus on my shop list. When I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe I just want to get that. But everyone knows Few. Lovely picture of Rodimus. Again, this upcoming photographer, Liam, Toy Box, Soapbox, he's starting to get around a bit.
I love his little taglines he puts on it as well, because the moment I read that, I was hearing the song and just kind of...
I'm literally experiencing that.
Yeah, that's why it's great. Like, the photo is good, but the use of that, Liam, yeah, he gets me every time. So well done, Liam.
The river.
Yeah. Oh, what a great trailer that was.
Oh.
We'd show it, but we'd got copyright strike and we get taken down. Anyway.
Gorgeous photo. This photo by Wonder Waffle 93, easy for everyone else to say. It reminds me of having Thunderwing as a kid. Mine got lost in the ether somewhere, but it was just such a cool toy. Yeah,
did you have a Thunderwing?
I did.
I don't remember you ever mentioning that.
No, I haven't, because it's quite traumatic, and I feel like this is now going to turn into a counselling session. Yeah.
No.
I don't have it anymore. However, gorgeous toy, gorgeous photo.
But again, everybody at the time thought it was
time.
Yeah, everybody at the time, totally, the vast majority of people passed up on this. And it was only when Furman got hold of the character, just like with Bludgeon, that people started, and like, no, and that's the thing. I have one now, so, you know, I'm all right.
Me too.
I mean, as the elite collectors.
Yeah.
None of this Takara nonsense. I just have a Thunderwing. For now. Anyway, sorry. Oh, wait. Let's just put that comment in there. Applause. Thank you, Melishade. Appreciate that.
Zero Pro Studio. I stumbled across this today, and their artwork is wicked. So this is all kind of combinables. But I just
it has that little formers or little formers kind of vibe to it. It's cool though.
Stunning. And that is Social Corner this week. And then normally Paul goes into discussion, doesn't he? But he's not hosting, I'm hosting. So let's go into discussion where it's everything TFN, past, present, and maybe future.
Just quickly before we do, Pete, I'll just point out for the disappointed audience that there is no quiz this week, much to, I'm sure, Dave and Andy's relief. Basically, I completely forgot. I realised about 10 minutes ago. I just sat here and went, oh, we should do the quiz. Oh, crap, the quiz. I completely forgot this week. So don't worry about it, though. It's a long show. We got TFN coming. Plenty of quizzes at TFN.
But hey, if you're interested in a quiz.
Yes, Dave.
Well,
I was going to say you could attend ClubCon as long as you have a ticket, though, because we're...
There you go. See? Do a quiz.
Sounds like a conversation point in the discussion.
We now return to the Transformers.
I don't know if I've mentioned it or anybody else has mentioned it, but we've got TFN next week. This time, in 7 days, it will be going off in Birmingham. How is preparations gone this year, fellas?
It feels like a loaded question.
It's always the way. It's a massive juggernaut now. So it's a case of there's always something going on, and there's always something that needs to be done. So there's never a point where you're going to be 100% done ahead of schedule. That's just it. It's not practical.
No, it's
so.
I put a tweet out on Blue Sky yesterday, which was that I thought that what I do in terms of, entertainment sort of thing was pretty much locked months ago, and we knew exactly what we were doing. And then yesterday morning, we added 3 new components to the show, and I thought to myself, okay, that's absolutely fine. Today, one of those components has germinated, and it's literally gone from a tiny little thing over here to potentially a whole weekend. And the problem that you have with that, let's peel the curtain back a little bit here. The problem that you have with that is me having that idea or having that idea presented to me doesn't simply rest with me. It then has to go through Billy. Billy then has to liaise with Mr. Turnbull. Do we need assets? Do we need space? Does that mean that we have to contact the hotel? And it's just a pebble in a pond. And bearing in mind that we have less than 7 days, unless it's extremely good, you would have to knock it on its head. But that just gives you some idea. It never stops. You just keep going, and you just have to try and keep up at this point. The juggernaut is heading down the road, and you just need to keep up with it.
You just assume as a convention goer that everything's really clean, it's all planned out, it's all nailed on. Basically, you guys just rock up, set up the stage and everything, and away it goes. And it's really interesting to hear. Yeah, no, even 7 days to go, things are still being put together.
Oh, it's all planned out. That's the thing. Everything's planned. But the old adage, no plan survives contact with the enemy. Once you've got the plan, you then have to go, this happens. And there's just so many moving parts. And as Dave said, things will come up. And we've talked about this, and I've certainly talked about it on stage quite a lot. Is like someone will have an idea, and then someone will listen to that idea and go, yeah, that's all right, but I've got a better way of doing it. And you then have to rejig and move about. Like, we all come in with our ideas about what we do, and then they playfully get kicked to death to basically ensure that they are fit from us. Because I think we've shown over the years, when we commit to do something, we don't sort of half-ass it. It's not just that'll do isn't good enough. So there's a lot of work goes in, and there's a lot of good ideas that come about that are just, it's not the right time, it's not the right year, it's not the right mix of guests to the event. I have 2 very distinct ideas for our evening program and for one of the presentation for a script reading I've had for 9 years, and it's just never been the right time for it. So they will happen at some point. Both ideas came about on the car back up from TFN with Dave, which is where all the real planning actually happens.
Yeah, where TFN is really organised. It's me and Mr. Turnbull on a road trip back up to the hallowed north.
It's where the magic.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave, go on.
No, I was just going to say, Andy makes a very good point there, which is just like the best part about working with the TFNation team is the fact that like there isn't any ego involved. Nobody holds on to an idea so desperately that we push it through. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, because at the end of the day, you've got to take that step back. Especially like with what I do, like okay, I'm putting the schedule out there. I'm deciding who's going to be on stage. I'm going to decide when. I'm going to decide what we're going to talk about. Ultimately, the main thing that I have to think about is it going to be interesting for that person that's sitting 3 rows back, who's not going to ask any questions, but has paid their ticket and maybe just wants to come in and just chill out because they've been in the dealer room and they just want to like relax a little bit and mess around with their toys. Like, will they be engaged by what I'm talking about or what the guests are talking about? So it's about, again, the attendees. It's not really about what I want, because otherwise every panel would be a Dreamwave panel.
or the rebirth.
Yeah. I mean, me and Mr. Turnbull have been desperately trying to bring our 2-man rebirth show.
Grace gets it every year without fail. It's like rock. I go down to days before the convention. We travel down together, and what happens is we will watch wrestling, talk nonsense, and the rebirth will be on. There's Grace just now, right on cue. But she gets it in stereo because she's usually sitting in between us. So it's like right channel, left channel. It's like the most immersive rebirth experience anyone could hope for, and she gets it for free. That's it. We don't even charge.
Amazing. What a lucky girl.
Doesn't realise how lucky she is. I suppose with you guys talking about what is, you know, how you come up with a plan, it's probably a great idea to talk about who we've got and what is going on this year.
Yeah.
Andy,
yep.
Right on, Joe.
So, oh yeah, sorry, go on, Andy.
No. You take the lead on this, Dave. This is your show, literally.
Yeah, we got Neil Kaplan, who, you know, if you want to look at it, like the next person after Peter Cullen to voice Optimus Prime, you know, in that gap between Beast Wars and Armada kicking off, you know, and RID is. I love RID. Like, it's such a great show. And TFNation have never had Neil as a guest before. So whenever you get the opportunity to bring a Prime along, it's always an exciting thing. So yeah, really looking forward to having him.
Yeah, I'm glad that people have ripped the show and put it on YouTube, because it's unfortunately a casualty of the Fox, Disney, all that merger in terms of the rights. Because I've got the DVDs still, and I will be holding on to them. But it's a show that kind of didn't get its due, and again, only been about for such a short period of time as well. But no, I love the show.
Yeah.
Evan Michael
Lee. So, you know, we were fortunate enough last year to be able to go see some early screenings of Transformers 1. And to this day, I've never met a single person who didn't at least like Transformers 1. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was the breath of fresh air that the brand needed. And, you know, Jazz, it's a minor role, but it's an important legacy character. And he was, you know, involved in one of the movie's most memorable moments. And having Evan here, who I've had the opportunity to speak to Evan, and he is such a ball of energy. Like, I'm so excited for people to get to meet him. He's just great. So really looking forward to having him there.
Lovely jubbly.
Does this guy need an introduction?
Yeah, it's like I mean, you might have heard him. Yeah, a voice or two.
Just a couple.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you are one of God's chosen people and you actually watch Beast Wars, you know, I mean, Dinobot, Rat Trap, Silverbolt, Waspinator. It's like it's an iconic list of voices, and the fact that it's like all from the same show, it's absolutely crazy. Like, I love me some Beast Wars and I love me some Beast Machines, and these are just, you know, iconic standout performances. Yeah, and he's been in so much. You know, X-Men, He-Man.
Yes.
He's been in, you know, some people might recognize him from his on-screen work. Like, Scott's done so much, like a massive career. And then incidentally, you know, was recast in Transformers Cybertron when they decided they want an Australian to play. Who was it? Who was it?
It was Jetfire.
Jetfire, that's right. Yeah. And then they recast him because they wanted him to sound Australian, even though Scott is Australian. So go figure that one. And then we should have Sophia Miles. Mr. Turnbull is a Doctor Who fan. I know that there's a lot of people who are very, very excited to have Sophia here because of her role in Doctor Who. But one of the things that we always talk about behind the scenes, and I don't mind talking about this here, is that the demographic of our convention is on an interesting trajectory. And that trajectory is that the live action movie era, that 2007 onwards era, is becoming the dominant force, I think, in the fandom. If you take yourself out of this G1 fan group that I am a part of, like if you just talk to Transformers fans generally, you will see that the love of the live action movies and things like that is growing, and it can be a little bit difficult to try and negotiate with somebody like The Rock, or Kelsey Grammer, So whenever we get the opportunity to have somebody who was involved in the live action movies, we would absolutely welcome that. And Sophia played a massive role in Age of Extinction, so I'm like really looking forward to being like, what is it like being on a Michael Bay set, and getting that sort of insight, because we've heard so many stories about what it's like in a Wally Burr recording studio. I want to know what it's like being on a Michael Bay set.
Yeah, definitely. And you've obviously got a lot of kind of the regulars, I like to call them, the comic book artists and writers that come along, like Simon Furman, obviously. You've got James Roberts. You've got Nick Roach.
Yeah.
It does the support of those guys. It must be great that you can call on them and that they want to come as well because they enjoy the experience so much themselves.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the UK has been the UK island, has
well corrected.
We have provided so many iconic creators for the Transformers over the 40 years of the franchise. So being able to have them there, whether you're a fan of Marvel UK and that was your gateway, or whether you're relatively new with IDW, with More Than Meets the Eye, Lost Light, things like that. I think the only, one other guest that I would pick out is Marcelo. Now, Marcelo's coming to us for the first time. This is a guy whose career spans over 20 years, and it ranges from everything from toy design to package art. I mean, he's basically doing all of the package artwork for Studio Series 86. He's drawn comics. He's a toy designer outside of just Transformers as well, working on things like Marvel Legends and stuff. The wealth of knowledge that this guy has is absolutely incredible. And he's just one of the most incredible artists, you'll ever likely meet. So, again, we've got him over. Alex Milne is coming back, who again needs no introduction. So, an incredible array of talent. And then and I'll let Mr. Turnbull speak more on this, but that doesn't even include the Forge, which is just an absolute bedrock of talent. The only difference is that that they may have not had the opportunity to have something published officially, but that doesn't make them any less talented.
No, the Forge is, it's each year, it's the word sickeningly talented is probably the best way. And it's also the fact that it can be very easy and kind of, particularly for artists, to kind of get when you look at other people's work, it's the gut reaction is, oh, they're just so much better than me, or that. But it doesn't. Forge doesn't seem to have much of that. It tends to be just like, oh, people get inspired by what they see, and it's just such a breadth of stuff, breadth of offerings for that, and it's trying to curate that. And as I say, the only thing is that it's just trying to show is also because there's so much there. It's like it's so easy to actually start to do if you want to do it. So we're going to have a panel on the Friday with several of the forgers, just because several of them actually have a career in the arts themselves. So it's just about, if you want to get into it, here's a little bit about the nuts and bolts of it. Similar to what I've kind of done at the mini cons with the artists, where I've kind of stayed away from the technical side of things in terms of how do you draw that, and talk about how do you draw in terms of how do you make a life out of doing it, how do you manage the routine, the questions that people at the big event might not always want to hear, because they want to hear about the questions about the stories and what have you. So Dave will be doing that with some of our forgers on Friday.
Yeah. And I hate to pick one person out of all of the forgers, and I'm not trying to do it by saying, but if you look at the forgers, take somebody like Dave Cousins, for example. He goes to the forge. He's going to be drawing a Thundercats comic book, through Dynamite. He's been doing covers for the Terminator series and things like that. These aren't just fan artists; these are professional artists. Whether you're published or not, these people make their careers through the incredible work they're doing, and whether it's making a print or whether it be making a key ring, with a lot of charming personality in it and things like that. There's something there for everybody's taste. So, and that was one of the things that, if people remember a few years ago, back in the early stages of TFN, the main hall and the forge were separate. And one of the things that we thought about long and hard was wanting to be able to merge the forge with the main hall, because as far as we're concerned, everybody's on the same level.
I think that's really helped, hasn't it? Having everybody in there together. It's really nice to be able to wander from toy sellers to artists to everybody that's in there, and having the guests as well that you can go and do your kind of meets, and you can chat to them, and it really works really well.
A very expensive one-stop shop.
But worth it. Very much worth it.
Yeah.
It would be remiss of us not to mention Jack Lawrence as well, who obviously we are very lucky to be able to sponsor this year at TFN. Not only a fantastic artist in his own right, but also an absolutely lovely bloke. And David Cousins, who you mentioned, Dave, such a nice guy, as well as being a great artist. It's nice sometimes just to, even if you're not, obviously, buy some art off them if you can, but even just to have a chat with them. They're such lovely, lovely people. You see that a lot with the guests that you guys get in for TFN.
Oh yeah, and then you're just wandering around the forge, and you meet like influencers like that TRDQ fella,
Oh yeah,
I think he's lurking in the chat. Don't encourage him.
Beetlejuice, if you mention his name, he'll pop up.
TRDQ.
All I would say is if you do see him, just first thing you say is just, "Oh, you're tall."
Yeah, he doesn't get that a lot.
You don't look tall in your videos.
Should we have a look at the schedule? Is that okay? If we
This is literally my domain.
Do you want to add that to the stage, Pete? And we'll.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk us through? Shall we concentrate on the Friday first?
Yeah, sure. I'll speed through these because I appreciate people have got beds to go to and stuff like that. So 11 a.m. is Meet the Team. That's basically just us welcoming everybody to the show and taking everybody through things. We always encourage, if it's your first time and you want to just get a lay of the land, come along to that. We'll help point you in the right direction. Friday, just as a reminder, the dealer hall does not open until Saturday. So Friday, it's really all about the panels and the shows that we've got. Kicking off at 11:30, Mr. Turnbull is actually kicking us off with a panel with John Paul Bove to talk about the incredible complexity that a colorist brings to a completed page, and talking about the decisions that are made. And I've spoken to Mr. Bove and spoken to him a little bit about what he wants to get out of the panel, and my mind was already blown, because you just don't think about it if you don't have that artistic, spark, which is why Andy's doing it, not me. So then we're going from there. And then at 11:30, we've got Preserving the Dream. This is a little bit of me commandeering a little bit. So if you were at Minicon in Manchester, you will know that, and I mentioned it earlier on, we reassembled, thanks to the work of Joing, Marcelo Mathieu, Simon Furman, we managed to reassemble War Within Volume 3, Issue 4. And it was a really fascinating story as to how we did it, not just about finding the pages that were missing, but also about what it means to actually reassemble a comic book that is 20 years old, that you're working off of printouts of emails that were sent 20 years ago, and the technical side of it that Mr. Carter and Mr. Turnbull brought to it. Because, and I will mention this on the panel, I assumed it was like, just scan it.
So, full disclosure, first thing that when I get that Dave goes, can you letter it? It's like, yeah, not a problem. He goes, can I print it? It's like, no. I had to explain to him that everything you've seen in CSI about image enhancement is a lie.
This panel will definitely be you will come away from this panel with two thoughts. One, Andy Turnbull and Chris Carter are miracle workers, and Dave doesn't know anything.
Dave was willing to learn, though, which is the
Not enough to actually do the work, though. I just get better people to do it for me.
Well, to be fair, someone had started the work off for us. We just had to follow in their footsteps. So
1:30, Forging Your Own Path. Again, we're going to get some of the forgers up, just to talk about being a forger, working in that space. It's something really interesting. A few years ago, we had some of the dealers up to talk about what it's like being a dealer. I'm really looking forward to this one. At 2:30, we've got the Toy Fu guys. They're taking this, and this is really going to be a panel about the history of Toy Fu. The guys reminiscing about some of the incredible stories that they've had, some of the incredible finds that they've had. It's going to be a one for all of the toy fans out there. Nick C in the comments.
They've been looking at the assembled photos over the years, and everyone just going, I looked so much younger. I had more hair. It was less grey.
Yeah. I'm led to believe that a tape measure is involved, Pete, as well.
Hey!
Then, as always, which has become almost customary now, on Friday, the Triple Takeover guys will be jumping on stage. Sixo, Liam, and Jason will be on stage to talk about, well, to be honest, I don't know, because these guys kind of like just do something, and it's cool. I'm sure everybody will enjoy it. And then at 5 o'clock, we have one which I'm really, really excited for. This is Generation Mechs. So, as Andy mentioned earlier on, James Roberts has got a new book which is dropping at TFNation. Andy, do you want to just give people a little bit of an update on it? Because this is really your era of Transformers.
Yes, so James has taken a look at sort of the fanzine culture and kind of the fan creations that kept Transformers bubbling under while from the 90s right the way through into the early 2000s, where it reasserted itself as the pop culture juggernaut. Because while Beast Wars did reinvigorate the brand and brought new eyes onto it, it was really that Transformers Armada is when it comes back properly as a big brand. But so you're going to see because he's got two versions of the book. There's the nice coffee table photo book with lots of scans from artwork from various people over the years who will all be deeply ashamed of how their art looks now compared to what their art looks like from then as to what it looks like now, and then a book actually about it. So it's kind of, although I was aware of the fandom, I didn't really get into it till sort of the tail end of the start of the 2000s. So there's a lot of stuff I know, but there's a lot of gaps in it, in my knowledge as well. So I can have a foot in both camps. So there'll be bits I can go, oh yeah, I know that, but a lot of that will be like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But as we said, can you imagine the Transformers going away into obscurity now? To that kind of extent, it's almost inconceivable at this point.
Yeah, and it's this is where Jack Lawrence sort of made his name in the fandom, where Nick Roach, where James Roberts. This is that era of Transformers creator. This is really where people started to learn who these people were. So I'm really fascinated by that one. And then we're changing it up a little bit for Friday for this year, because we've got a movie which legally I can't talk about.
Skip over that one then.
It's one film, but then there's another one later on, technically. But one film, I think you can all know the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
That one.
Evan Michael Lee might be there at Cineworld at about
for that
7
one
o'clock
film.
for one film. In all seriousness, no, this is actual legal stuff. This is important stuff. We're not doing this as a gag.
Yeah, this is actual legal, not Pete legal. So
he'll find you a loophole. Give him a chance. He will find you a loophole.
So we've partnered with Cineworld, who have agreed to sponsor Evan, and we have put an event on so you can come along and you can watch the movie there. If, however, you want to stay at the hotel, that is absolutely fine. You can. And also, we're going to be putting a double movie marathon on at the hotel itself as well. So, if you want to chill out and relax at the hotel, you can do. Or alternatively, if you have the Admit One ticket, then you can head over to Cineworld as well, which, as I understand, is approaching capacity. So if that is something that you want, and what I would say is that, if you're going for the Admit One, might be a little bit of a special something.
There may be a little souvenir something that's been worked on.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just before we move on from the Friday and go on to the Saturday, you're saying about Juggernaut before, and now it's a beast. I can remember back when Friday was just a little bit on Friday night, and then you moved it to like mid-afternoon, and now it's like in the morning. Now Friday is like a fully fledged day.
Do you want to know? Do you know why that is?
Go
on. So the story behind it's all thanks to Stan Bush. Friday was always Friday night. It was just Friday night. A couple of panels on Friday night, watch a movie, that's it. The reason that Friday became the thing that it did was, one, everybody kept showing up on Thursday. And so they would take over the bar. But also, we needed places to like move people in the hotel, get people out of certain rooms, free up other rooms and things like that. And it just slowly but surely, it started at 3 o'clock when we put a GoBots movie on. That was Mr. Turnbull's idea, not mine. And then it started at 2 o'clock, and then it started at 1 o'clock. And more people kept showing up, and we kept finding things to fill the time with. So yeah, like Friday was never a plan. but it certainly has become. And it always makes me chuckle when people turn around and go, "Would you ever consider going to 4 days?" The answer is no.
It's the vein in the neck starts to throb.
I was going to say, do you start twitching at that point?
Yeah.
All joking aside, is while there potentially could be demand there, it becomes a bit impractical, and the event becomes a bit too sprawling at that point, because we're conscious of it's a big commitment if you want to do the whole thing now. So 3 days, I think, is probably your biggest ask, the biggest ask you can ask of anyone realistically, because not everyone can have their time off for that. So there are folk who will maybe come down on the Friday afternoon because they've got to work for a half day, but they've got to go back to work on the Monday. So you start moving at that territory, it becomes a bigger imposition, and then you're factoring in it's another day in a hotel potentially. So you're like, we could have a week of TFN at some point if you were to apply that logic, but it's a
Has anybody seen The Shining?
Yeah. and yeah, there's only so much so much time you can ask of people for that. So again, and hopefully for that sort of thing, for those that want more, we have our mini cons. So you can scratch that itch a couple of times throughout the year in a less hectic, less intensive environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It must be quite endearing, I suppose, on its basic term, lovely, that the fact that you put a Friday day on, and the majority of people that are going to the Friday day now turn up on the Thursday night. So by consequence, the attendees have made it a 4-day convention because they're rocking up earlier.
Yeah,
and they just want to be a part.
5 if you stay till Monday. Kind of
5 if you stay till Monday. If you're a true TFN fan,
the true fans.
There are people who, and this isn't people that work at TFN, because obviously we have to be on site for an awful lot of stuff, deliveries coming in, things like that. There are people that get there on the Tuesday. There
I'll
are.
say that because Paul will. That'll be what Paul will push for next year with us.
Yeah,
Tuesday crew then. Yeah, Tuesday crew. Lovely.
It's always really humbling when you hear people say that this is my favorite time of the year. And you see that on YouTube videos and comments and things like that, where people turn around and say, like, this is what I care about. I don't go to, I don't know why Lanzarote popped into my head, but I don't go away on holiday. I go to Birmingham, and I don't even really go to Birmingham. I go to a hotel on the outskirts of Birmingham, and I hang out with my mates for 3 or 4 days a year, and that's really cool.
The other thing I've seen is people saying it's like Christmas. This is their Christmas.
I've always said that is basic. It's a bubble you step into.
Yeah.
With it, once you get in there, when it's go time, that's it. Everything else in the outside world, aside from football scores, doesn't happen until Monday, and even then, only select football scores. But it is you're just stepping into this bubble where you can, whatever's going on in your life, whatever stresses, hassles you've got, a few days where you can just sit and relax, have fun with people you can only maybe hang out in meet space, as it were, for a couple of times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Should we look at the Saturday then?
Certainly can. So we've got the opening ceremony at 9 o'clock. What I am going to say is that as of right now, this is going to be the most jam-packed, blistering paced opening ceremony. We generally, because of when the dealer hall opens for early access, we generally try to keep the opening ceremony short. We have got so much stuff to cram into this year's opening ceremony, including some incredible announcements that you are not going to want to miss. Also, as well, there's going to be a very special announcement on Friday as well, which you don't want to miss.
Cool.
He's a tease.
And
he's such a tease.
These are these things that have just materialized today and yesterday.
Here we go.
So 9:30, we have got Avoid the Rush. Now, this is purely in the King Suite, so this is where our panels take place. We appreciate that, you know, for people that might not want to deal with that many people and still want to enjoy some of the Transformers vibe, you can come in there. We're just going to put some cartoons on. It'll be very chilled out for you. If you want to go to the dealer room later, you absolutely can. If you're going as a family and, you know, you don't want to be dragging little kids through the maelstrom that is let's be honest, if you've got little kids that are just slowing you down, get to the dealer table that you want. You know, as long as they're accompanied by an adult, you know, you can leave them to watch cartoons and stuff. Just a quick little one. I did see somebody ask in the comments about a coloring competition. Now, we've not done a coloring competition before at the big con. It's a logistics thing. But here's a little bit of news for you. There's going to be a little coloring thing going on during Avoid the Rush this year. So, yeah.
Yes.
And there is also, seeing how you spoilers for Dave, as you know, there will also be a colouring competition in the programme with a prize.
Nice.
Cool.
Which
thanks to Mr. David Cousins for letting us use some of his fine art. You'll see the proper version of the art if you happen to be going to the cinema on Friday.
Awesome.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, again with the coloring competition, it's something that we have done for the mini-cons because that's a one-day thing. It's a lot easier to control. I think it's important, you know, just for people to understand, and this is a desperate plug that we always make. In order to run a convention of this size, you need bodies, you need volunteers. And at every single touch point where something is going on, you need somebody on the TFNation team to be able to manage that thing that is happening. So it's easy enough when you're at a mini-con when it's 1 or 2 rooms. It's a different thing entirely when it is some rooms that are the size of half a football pitch, and then a bunch of other rooms connected by a bunch of different corridors being dealt with by a bunch of different queues and a bunch of different tables. It becomes incredibly difficult to manage it. So that's why sometimes you might think, oh, well, why isn't this here? Or why isn't that here? It's about manpower or person power. So yeah. So we got that. Avoid the Rush. It's the chill out zone. I will just point out as well in terms of that, because I did put a video out. If you are planning to make a donation to Toy Foo this year, please go ahead and either make a donation during their panel on Friday, or alternatively in the King's Suite after the opening ceremony. We will take possession of whatever donations you are making, and then we will eventually, over the course of that weekend, give those donations to the Toy Foo guys when it is a lot quieter. Because if you give them a donation, you know, when they're trying to serve, you know, dozens, hundreds of people all at one time, it's not going to work out for people. So we've created these drop-off spots. So yeah. So then our dealer hall opens, and that will go on, and then at 11 a.m. we'll kick off back in the Kings with speculation. Believe it or not, it has been 20 years since the start of IDW.
Wow. Oh, now I feel old. Why did you say that, Dave? You've just literally turned me to dust.
I know. So we are rolling the clock back all the way to the Asian series, one of my all-time favorite eras of comic books, ended far too soon. Simon is going to be taking us through where the concept came from, what his plans were, where the ideas came from, and also it's going to have a guest host who might also have been involved in that period of Transformers. But I will let you speculate on who that might be. And then at noon, Mr. Neil Kaplan is joining us for a Q&A session. And then following on from that at 1 p.m., Marcelo will be joining us. And then after that, at 2 p.m., is anybody listening to Simon and Andrew's incredible podcast where they reminisce about their work? They're going to be doing it live, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really enjoying the podcast. So yeah, the rest is Giant Robots live at TFNation 2025. And then at 3 p.m., Sophia Miles will be taking the stage. We'll be talking all about her career, just the same way I do with most of our actors. And then straight after that, we've got Evan Michael Lee, who is going to be, again, talking about his career. So as you can see, it's just packed one after the other. And then at 5 p.m., the dealer hall and the panel room will close. And then we will prep for ClubCon. Shall we talk about ClubCon?
I mean, we could talk about cosplay. Why
Let's
not?
talk about ClubCon.
So, ClubCon kicks off at 7 o'clock. The doors will open, and we will start with our cosplay competition, which every year just gets more and more incredible. And the creativity and the originality just blows my mind constantly. And then at 8 o'clock, what I would say is that when it comes to, ClubCon, take these timings with a grain of salt. It's the one time of the weekend that I sort of let people have a little bit of freedom in terms of the time and stuff like that. I'm very vigilant over the course of the day, but ClubCon, So at about 8 o'clock, we will be having the Matrix test. And it is different. And that's all I'm going to say. It is a new quiz. And you'll have to come along to find out how new. So we've got that. Oh, and just in case anybody's wondering, Chris McFeely is involved.
He does say it there, yeah. He is involved.
So, and then at around 8:40, we've got our charity auction. If you were, if you've been to ClubCon before, you'll know that we have some incredibly rare pieces. I'll let Andy speak on some of the work that Matt does for the charity auction.
Yeah, so if you're at from the mini-cons, we've had a design, a Transformers, been Action Masters up until this year, and it was the winning entrant this year was a mini-bot. So there are two made, one for the winning entrant, and another one will be auctioned off. Now, Matt also did what's the Thunderwing Japanese repaint? Black Shadow. That's it. So he did White Shadow previously. This year, we're having another one. We're having Red Shadow. So if you're a fan of the old Palatoy Action Force, pre-G.I. Joe, Iron Shadows and all, and whatever he's named, the Red Shadows and all that, you'll have a very nice red and black Black Shadow called Red Shadow. And there'll be a raffle. There's raffles for Toy Fu, mask themed mini bots for the Saturday, and no one is allowed to buy a ticket for Sunday, apart from me, because they're G2 themed mini bots. So no one is buying a ticket. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah, and it's important to understand that all of the proceeds to the charity auction all goes to Toy Fu. And it just helps them just be able to donate more. And yeah, we've got some really cool stuff, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And then we come to the piece de resistance. the thing that is keeping Andy Turnbull up at night. So, I'll give a little bit of backstory to this. Generally, this slot every year is the thing that I dread the most, because we have always come up with something really, really cool, whether that be, the season 4 of Transformers Animated, whether that be Chris and Jim talking about the earlier draft of Transformers the movie, or just a fantastic script reading. It's always the thing that worries me. This year, like right off the bat, like very early on, we knew what we were doing, because Jim Sorensen kindly put this in our lap. For a tiny little bit of context, when Transformers was originally in development, it was being developed by Marvel Animation and Turnbull as something called a network show. And so basically what that means is that you would make the show yourself, and then you would sell it to all of the different networks. Okay. It turns out that at the same time that was going on, CBS network in the United States was commissioning their own version of Transformers. And that's what this is. Thanks to Jim, we have access to the one and only fully completed script that was made for this version of Transformers. Now, what can you do with that? It's an animation script. It's very, very difficult to be able to do anything with it. People have said, oh, well, you could do a script reading. Not really, because you've got 3 or 4 people and you've got a cast of, I want to say it's got a cast of 25 or something like that. It would be impossible to be able to follow it. So what we've done is we've taken the animation script and we have adapted it into a radio play. And then I have gone out and I have gotten a slew of incredible voice talent to help put this together. So this will be very similar to the work that we did with Transformers Animated Season 4. It is only 1 episode, but what I will say here, which I don't think we've said anywhere else, every single person in this script who voices a Transformer has voiced a Transformer in an officially licensed show before.
Oh,
so I haven't just got
amazing,
my mates.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't voiced
And
anything
then I've got
for
my
anyone
mates
else.
to do it as well. And it's come out great. It's come out great. So if you want to see, to quote a bullseye, what you could have won, then, well, you need to buy a ClubCon ticket, but you can't because they're already sold out.
I was going to say it's sold out, hasn't it? So...
Yeah, I was going to be that guy. So where can they get a ticket then, Dave?
You can't, because it's sold out. It sounds fantastic, though. Absolutely amazing stuff.
Yeah, and what I would say as well, and I'm just putting it out there because I will mention this on Saturday as well, it's important for people to understand that this presentation is going to be put on in the same format as what we did with the Transformers Animated Season 4, which means all of the voice talent did it totally pro bono. There was no fees incurred or anything. Everybody did it free of charge. But what we are going to do is we're going to, because we will do this as well, we're going to ask the audience if they feel like it and they've got a spare couple of coins in their pocket to throw it in a bucket, and all of that money will go towards Toy Fu as well.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then that'll take us on to Sunday then, because that will obviously be the ending of Saturday's festivities. So Sunday, what have you got in store for us?
Sunday, we're kicking off at 9 a.m. with Today at TFNation. Again, just to recap what we're doing over the course of the day. At 9:30, we have got Blockies, who will be taking to the stage and they will be taking us through their product lineups, not just Transformers, but also some of the other products that they're bringing out as well. I made it very clear to them. I was like, you do realize that everybody wants those Sesame Street figures. So let's talk a little bit about them. So yeah, they're going to take us through their product catalog, and that will be really, really interesting. Then at 10 a.m., I am happy to report that the return of the kids quiz. Again, this is just something for, really to put something in there for the kids. We don't charge for children at the convention, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're doing something for them. So again, this is for any kids. They can take part in it, and there are prizes to be won. And the good news is McFeely doesn't write this one.
I kind of wish he did.
If you're an adult and you just want to feel like you've achieved something, you can come along to this one as well and play along.
Finally, a quiz for me. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And then 11 a.m., we've got Mining Energon. Now, look, I promise it's not all Dreamwave, right? But this is a rare opportunity because we have Simon Furman here, we have Alex Milne here, and we have Marcelo. And all three of them worked on the Dreamwave Energon comics. And the Energon comics are a unique one because much like the original Marvel UK / Sunbow cartoon / Marvel US, these were vastly different takes on the same basic formula. So Energon, one of the most maligned Transformer series, certainly the weakest of the three of the Unicron trilogy, had this really interesting comic book going on that Alex helped draw. It was Alex's first full credited issues, and Marcelo's as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And you want to stick around to the end because we've got a special announcement to make as well.
Ooh, more teasing. I love it.
Yeah.
Right. Takes us to noon, opposite episode break.
Yes. This is just because of timings and stuff. We've just got a spare half hour in there. We are going to put an episode on that is a personal favorite of mine, and it might have something to do with one of the voice actors, and it might involve a velociraptor. I don't know. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then at 12:30, and the reason we have this half-hour break is because we've given these guys 90 minutes. Chris McFeely and Jim Sorensen are going to be coming on stage, and they are going to be taking you through the entire Muffy development cycle. So how this thing got off the ground. And what I will say is it's not just one episode. We don't just have one episode script. We've got not one, but 2 show Bibles. In addition to that, we've got a whole slew of internal memos and documents from Hasbro and CBS. This is a history lesson of how Transformers was developed, some of the weird and wonderful ideas that were thrown around, some of which will genuinely leave you speechless, because if this had happened, the way we look at Transformers would have been radically different.
I'm looking forward to that one. I
think
it'll be a fantastic way to build on what we see on the Saturday night. And then that takes us, as you said, to 2 p.m. and Finding Your Voice.
Finding Your Voice, yeah. Every single year, over the course of the last couple of years, we've had these panels. And this all stems from the fact that every single time we get our voice actors up on stage, they always get asked about voice acting and how to get involved in it, what skills they need, things like that. And so we always think it's a really good idea to get our voice actors on stage. This will be hosted by my very good friend, Chris Finney, who himself is a professional voice actor. And he will be talking with them about the job of voice acting. And what's great about this panel, and the reason we keep doing it every year, is because our lineup keeps changing. And so everybody's story is different. So it's really fascinating. Whether you're looking at Scott, who worked in Canada and did an awful lot of CG animation, whether you're looking at Neil, who did an awful lot of anime dubbing, or whether you're looking at Evan, who has really is at the start of his career and has just recently, in the last several years, made that transition into voice acting. It will be really fascinating for anybody who is a fan of the art.
Fantastic. And then this one also looks really good.
Yes. Again, this goes back to the fact that we have Marcelo here for the very first time. Marcelo has been doing Transformers box art since Transformers Armada. And he has built up a massive career. And like I say, he's currently doing, I believe, all of the box art for Studio Series 86. So he's still there. And we've paid him on stage with Jim Sorensen, who, if you remember, a few years ago, produced this bad boy, which is Legacy, hence the title of the panel. And this book just archived all of the incredible box art from the Transformers Generation 1 and Japan. So we're going to talk about it, talk a little bit about the history of box art, pick Marcelo's brains in regards to, what exactly a box art needs to achieve, other than it being a really pretty picture.
Brilliant.
And then at 4 o'clock, our last panel with one of our guests, it will be Mr. Scott McNeil on stage. And I promise you, what a way to end the show. Scott is an incredible character and has played some incredible characters. So he will be a one to definitely check out. And then 5 o'clock, we put ourselves in your crosshairs, as we do every year, with Constructicon. And if this is your first time coming to TFNation and you wonder what a Constructicon is, it's it is us. It is TFNation. It's not people that are paid to take the bullet by TFNation. It is literally me. It's Andy, it's Billy, it's a few other members of the committee. And we get up on stage and we want your feedback. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you like, what you didn't like, what questions you have for us. We think it's important because at the end of the day, we're fans as well. And this entire convention rests on the fact that we're doing something that fans want.
Brilliant. And then the closing ceremony.
And then at 5:30, we tell you to get lost.
And when to come back again next year.
Yes. Exactly.
The important bit.
Oh, we're doing another one next year.
Yeah. Check your inbox. I've sent you a logo.
All right.
I still think it was really nice, lads, that you put this year's one just a couple of days after my birthday. That was really kind of you to take on board what I was asking. That was I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
To answer Mr. Spence's question from in the chat, when are we doing karaoke again? When Satan skates to work.
Oh dear.
So
brilliant.
Yes, I do apologise. That took far longer than I was.
But it's a jam-packed schedule. That's the thing.
It's almost like it's going to be a long 3 days.
And it's really weird because you look at those panels, and I know because I'm going to be doing a bit of helping out Primetime Toys over the weekend. I know there's stuff I'm going to end up missing because I'm going to have to be helping out. And everything, there's so many really great panels that you've got this year. It looks like it's going to be an absolute fantastic con again.
And
Yeah,
the chat's
like
going on.
there's some stuff that I'm just like super excited for. You know, I count my blessings because I'm in such a privileged position to be able to, you know, sit on stage with these individuals who are just incredibly talented. You know, whether it be artists, forgers, voice actors, on-screen actors, and to be able to pick their brains, it's really interesting. And also, and this is something that I always try to do, because I got asked this once. Somebody came up to me, and I don't know who they were, and I do apologize if you're in there. I'm not criticizing you or anything like that. But they turned around and they said, "You didn't ask them a lot about Transformers." And I turned around and I said, and I can't even remember who it was, but they said, "You didn't ask them a lot about Transformers." And I said, "Yeah, but you probably know more about what they did in Transformers than they did, right?" Like,
Yeah.
but now do you know more about them than you did beforehand? Well, yes. Yeah. There we go then. I've done my job. Because they're not,
I think as well,
Transformers' voice. They're a human being.
it's worth mentioning as well, just before we forget, all of you guys, like you said, you are volunteers. This is not like a paid job for you. You guys all give up your time throughout the year and obviously over the weekend. All of the volunteers, I mean, you guys obviously kind of get to be the face of TFN and very kindly join us for stuff like this, but you've got a lot of other volunteers who are putting in so much graft over the course of the weekend, including now a couple of our very own friends who have joined your TFN crew this year. So Sam and Bernie, if you're watching, good luck, guys.
Yeah. Honestly, the lifeblood.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a word with Moff about letting me off one year so I can come and help out a bit, because I say this every time, but I feel like after you've been to TFN enough times, you need to try and give something back somewhere along the line. I mean, maybe not you, Pete. You ran a half marathon, but you know, for those of us who didn't,
It's well, I've talked before. It's like it's nice that people want to do that, and we absolutely want to do it. But it's you coming along and giving us your time and your money is enough, because we've talked about it before. We can put on the event, we can put the panels on, but it's everybody makes it. It's we could put on the same panels, but if we didn't have a fan base that was as engaged, that was as open to these things, as Dave said, it's like, can you imagine rocking up to a TF con and then playing Rock Lords, and the audience accepting it?
Yeah.
Everyone just went, GoBots, that's a bit rubbish, and then watched and enjoyed it for what it was, which is it's just a daft film.
Yeah.
But everyone's on board with us. Everyone has the same ideas. I'm coming this weekend. I'm giving some time and whatever money, and I'm going to have the best damn weekend possible.
Oh dear.
That's probably a good
So yes, that's why I have to leave now. So because I need to get back to work.
He's sat there looking at the watch.
My planet needs me.
Listen, the TFN hype train has well and truly left the station. We're 7 days out. The chat's excited. Everyone that's bought a ticket is excited. That's a jam-packed schedule. These are going to be the longest 7 days ever. But
no, they're not.
No, they're not. They're going to be far quick. I can assure you on that fact.
Gentlemen, thanks ever so much for risking Billy's wrath by joining us this evening.
It's all right. We're both taller than him.
It's
fine.
Genuinely, it's been great to have you both on. Thanks ever so much for taking the time.
No problem.
I
appreciate like people have probably got like places to go and stuff, but if we've got like 5 minutes, does anybody in the chat like have a question or something that like they may?
Oh yeah. If you're happy to, if Billy's not already ringing you,
it's the phone. Let me put the phone on silent. There we go.
I mean, appreciate people might not like, you know.
Oh, they will do. It's just there's a 30-second delay on StreamYard, so you've just said it doesn't get to them for about 30 seconds. So you've got to give them a chance to catch up.
Yeah,
and they'll be tapping like anything.
No, Guzzy.
Goat bots. I mean, yeah. As someone who has started off in my young life as having both sets of toys, I can tell you now one is definitely better than the other. Anyway, there we go. Straight from that to the secret hot tub. I mean, that's a night, isn't it?
I have pitched this before.
Yes.
You could.
Are we talking about the crisp? In which case, I'm down with that. If you're talking about the musical experience, not so much. and don't make me get Lindsay to come out of a room and batter you.
Disco and karaoke. Imagine what an evening that would be.
Mind.
One of the circles of hell, I believe. 5 or 6, I think.
You know what?
Anyway,
if you've got questions for the TFN guys, get yourself to the Constructicon on Sunday night at 5 o'clock, and they'll be more than willing to hear all your crazy ideas.
Oh, when do we give ourselves time to eat? We actually very rarely do until one member of the crew shouts at us. Sarah's determined to ensure that we eat better because we do skip things. So
yeah. We try to eat breakfast.
Well, I eat 3 breakfasts just in the one sitting, and that's my justification for not eating for the rest of the day.
I can still remember one of the TFNs when Dave, you came up and finally came up with a drink in your hand to have a bit of a chat. It was towards the end of I think the Saturday night at the time, or at least kind of mid Saturday evening. And you came up and you'd been stood and talking to us for about 5 minutes when somebody came and said to you, "Oh, we need you." You were like, and that was it. Didn't see you again, I think, till the end of the night. It's just, you guys are so brilliant and so committed. And and you definitely have the thanks of everybody watching and everybody here, certainly.
Big time. Right, I think we've got time for one more question. Bisto.
Schedule looks fantastic, very busy. How do you judge how much cool stuff you can jam into one weekend? Time is usually the issue. Yeah. There is literally not enough hours in the day. So I mean, obviously we've got a set amount of time every day. In terms of the cool stuff, you would genuinely be surprised at the amount of stuff that like falls in 2 hour lap a little bit. I talk a little bit about Jim Sorensen and bringing this script to us. Had nothing to do with us. It's just the fact that we have an incredible relationship with Jim. He's an incredibly generous human being, and he seems to like us for whatever reason. So he offers this to us. And I think it's because we really do care, and we all care about different aspects of the Transformers. We would not have been able to cobble together that Dreamwave issue 4 if it wasn't for the fact that I cared and dragged Carter and Turnbull along with me. So sometimes it's things like that. And whether or not that ends up being cool, I guess, is in the eye of the beholder. But we at least think it's interesting. So it's just, but I think more than anything, it is a case of just trying to put you in the shoes of the audience. And both myself and Mr. Turnbull and every single person that works on the committee at some point has been to a convention as a punter. And that's where we got our start. So we've been there, so we know how interesting it is. Like, I still remember the first time that I saw Simon Furman in all his grandeur, all praise be, and was stunned by it. Now he's just Simon.
When it comes from the guest lineup as well, to be honest, part of it comes when we're doing it is when we have a planning meeting, or we have several planning meetings, but when we're setting up the desired template for TFN, the big event, if you will, we'll look at what guests are we going for, and it's when you start looking at the guests, you start thinking about, well, they could bring this, they can do that, and we move it around from there. So you're Transformers, because it's such a broad church, there's an aspect for everyone, so you're trying to then get that guest lineup that's got a little bit for everyone. Some years we'll theme it a little bit when it feels relevant, or it's kind of a good thing to do. But you try to make sure that everyone gets a little bit of something they'd be interested in.
Yeah,
So-
it's it is finding that balance. It's just having a look at it, and also it's a weird thing as well. When we have a proposed guest list, like a list of people, we'll say like, oh, what about this person? This person was this character on this show. The first thing that I will do is I will IMDb that person. I will then Google that person, Wikipedia that person, and what I'm looking for is, okay, what else do they do? Like, what other skill do they have? You know, and that's when you land on things like Gary Chalk sings. Gary, bring your guitar with you. You know,
music then, Dave, like a disco or karaoke.
no,
Cut that mic off. Cut that mic off now.
Well-structured, organized music, as only Billy would like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's about
Brilliant.
finding that different thing that is going to make it interesting.
Just before we finish, oh, sorry, go.
I was going to say, different is the thing. We talk about it, and I've talked about it at length at Constructicons. We don't talk about it being bigger, because bigger is just a recipe for burnout and everyone just crashing and burning. It's just making it different. So it's kind of, what are we going to do if we're doing the same as they said, finding your voice as a panel we can do every year, because the guest lineup's different. You're going to get different conversations, different talking points out of it, but you can't just have the same people asking the same questions every year, because it gets stale. So is there a new angle to come at it at? And that's at the forefront of when we're inviting guests and we're bringing people back. What's there new to talk about?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just before we finish, on the subject of the first time people met Simon Furman. The first time I met Simon Furman, he bought me a pint because I was stood behind him at the bar, and he just turned around and said, "Do you want a pint?" So, yeah, sure. You're Simon Furman. Yeah, you buy me a drink. I'm not. Yeah, lovely.
It's a very surreal experience.
It really is.
Finding yourself being drinking acquaintances to people who you thought were godly when you were 9.
Exactly.
It's very weird.
And just be grateful that at least your first interaction with Simon Furman isn't forever locked to a DVD.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Mullet.
We should
bring it back.
We should have that on the opening ceremony video every year. That fine haircut, Dave.
Mullet or pink hair? Bring one of them back for the
Oh, both.
I mean, this is a race territory question. Yeah. I'm not permitted to make such decisions.
Not my hair.
No, I can't shave my head. My head, it may not look like it, but my head is giant. If I shave my head, I literally will be Uncle Fester.
Oh dear me.
What's a vision to send people to bed with?
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to end it there, gentlemen. 7 days out from TFN. We keep saying it because it is that close. I'm excited. The guys are excited. If you're going to TFN, please make sure you come and say hi. We're going to be strutting around all weekend in Transformers the Show t-shirts. Come and have a chat. If you're wandering around and you're on your own and you want to make some new friends, please stop by the table. We'll chat to you all night long and day, but not about Beast Wars. Other subject.
And go see the panels, and go see the artists, and go see Jack Lawrence, and buy some of his art and have a chat with him. Wonderful bloke.
Yeah.
If you're not going to TFN, we're not on next week for obvious reasons. Well, I mean, we might be.
Just don't make any promises. Wi-Fi in the hotel's not that
great. That's
a
bold claim.
Yeah. We're obviously having a week off because we're at TFN, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. In the meantime, head over to our Facebook group and all our other socials, where we will talk about all things transforming plastic robots. And until then, safe journeys to TFN if you're going. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Say good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
See you soon. And press D, play outro. The first time I've done it.
It's time for Transformers, the show!